Hello, everybody. How's it going? Did you miss me? I missed you. See, who do we got in chat? I see nobody. I see Konohana. I see Tom Mull, James Ansel. Looks like we got all the UK folks, huh? You guys some night owls? I usually catch you guys during dinner time, but now I'm catching you later at night, I think. I'm a night owl too, actually. Hope you're doing well out there. Let's see. Got the chills from being sick, so I'm feeling cold. Yeah, you got the fever, huh? You got a flu or something? You probably caught something going back to college, didn't you? Yeah, late one for me. I had to drop my wife off at the airport. She's got a work trip out to Florida. So she had to catch a flight, and I had to drop her off at the airport there. And then I was taking the opportunity to run some errands that I've been putting off for a little while. Got my hairs cut. Yeah. It's all nice and trim, all clean cut, except for the beard. I don't know what to do with the beard. I think there would be a lot of people disappointed if I chopped that thing off. But I can do whatever the hell I want with my hair, so keep that short, keep it high and tight. You're in the United States? Yeah, no problem. I know that Tom and James, and there's usually one or two others that are from Europe as well. But Konohana is from the States. Nobody's from Florida. Up to Florida, yeah. Well, let's see. Arizona's southwest. I think Florida goes down south a little more, but not by a ton. But yeah, definitely not up. Jeez, you guys are being pedantic today. You guys know what that means? Pedantic. How far did you get in Vigilant? So I got to. There was a Vigilant that was being he got like possessed or something, and he gave us some death in Shadow of Skyrim. We respawned up on the overworld in Skyrim, so I'm taking a break from Vigilant for a little bit to level up. It was underneath Windhelm. We were supposed to clear the vampires, and then there's like a huge Windhelm undercity, and then we went down into some crypts, into some catacombs, and then there was the vigilant boss, a possessed vigilant boss. I don't remember his name. Starts with an A. Didn't quite give up on it yet. We're just taking a break from that to level up a little bit. We're level 25 right now, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I think really what killed us was our summon, our illusion summon that the Triumvirate Cleric gets, the ideal sort of manifestation of the player's race. Didn't make it through the door with us. Even though Lucian did, he was getting like one shot, and he wasn't acting like much of a meat shield. And then we got like two shot once he knocked Lucian down and then took us out. I felt dumb, so I looked up the definition, and now I'm scrupulous. And now it's saying I'm scrupulous. Showered salt upon myself. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm just giving you guys a little nudge with my elbow here. It's all in good fun. Let's see. So yeah, that's kind of the update. We'll talk about Skyrim more when I get there. I did want to get some of the news and stuff out of the way. So a lot of people probably saw this one. It's making the rounds. Blood of the Dawnwalker. So this looks like to be a vampire-centric ARPG, kind of like Vampire or Vampire the Masquerade. But this has some strong Witcher 3 DNA in it. And you can really tell from the trailer here. They didn't really show much gameplay, if at all. I think you get a couple seconds here and there of the gameplay. But yeah, strong Witcher vibes on this one, and I guess this was from some of the lead creative directors from The Witcher 3. So this should be some good stuff. I don't know, we'll see. I think it's still a little bit too early to tell. Sometimes with games like this, they'll poach like a producer or two off of a well-known game to sort of put their name on a new IP for advertising and marketing purposes, but it doesn't really kind of translate into that kind of experience once it releases and you get the gameplay and everything, especially with the gameplay part of it. If they don't nail the gameplay part of it and they have the mood and everything, it's going to be a tough hill to climb for them. But so far, so good. We get a cinematic here. Very cool stuff with these vampires that come in and just totally just, rip everybody apart here. The guy that you're playing, I think it's like a character-specific role-playing game, kind of like The Witcher, where you play Geralt. You play one character. You don't. It's not like a Western RPG where you get to make your own character and play through like that. But it is character-specific. You're playing this guy right here. So he witnesses this complete massacre of all these sort of militia men by the different vampires. You can tell there's different like classes, different fighting styles and stuff that they're employing. Your character, I would imagine, is going to, be training in all these different ways of vampire combat, and combining them in ways. God, that looks cool. Combining them in unique ways. So there's probably going to be some character buildcraft involved here. Looks really cool. So his little daughter or sister, I think it's a daughter, was already looking a little worse for wear. He was trying to find help for her. Then he got waylaid by these militia men, and then vampires came in and ate all them. And now they're showing this guy some mercy a little bit. Very cool stuff. So the kind of shiny eyes that they get, the character, this guy right here, he's later on in the gameplay, it's reflecting in his eyes. He's kind of got the shined eyes like Vin Diesel does in Perfect Dark. Was it Perfect Dark? It wasn't Perfect Dark. That was the video game series. Pitch Black is what I'm thinking of. I read first as the Blood of Daywalk. Oh, okay. There might be some daywalking in this. Usually if you play as a vampire character, there's some kind of ability or something that allows you to go out in the sunlight. Blood of the Daywalker. Blood of the Dawnwalker. Very close. Very, very close. Netflix is doing pretty well with the shows. They released a Tomb Raider series, but haven't watched it yet. Yeah, I've been watching Arcane on Netflix. I'm not as into it as a lot of people are, but the quality is really undeniable. And there's a lot of, there's the shined eyes there that he's got. And he's sliding down on the building with his claws. Seeing some action. This has got to be gameplay, right? It looks good. So I feel like if they're confident enough to show this stuff off, we're going to get more information about it this year if it's not releasing this year. Usually with new IPs and new studios like this, they are they don't want to show off their stuff until it's gameplay reveal in summer of 2025. So we'll get better look at the gameplay in a few months here. But that's very promising. I know there's a lot of Witcher fans that cross paths with Skyrim fans, so this one looks really cool. I'm excited for it. I want to see more, obviously. Now, if this is done in Unreal Engine or whatever, then I'm basically gonna pump the brakes on that until we actually get a Digital Foundry report, because I've been burned way too many times with Unreal games lately with the stuttering on the PC ports. It's been bad. Most of them are fine on PS5, but I just need to know what version to buy, because I don't want to keep rewarding these studios' incompetence with Unreal Engine by buying 2 copies of their game. I'll buy the one on PC because that's where I want to play it, and then it's just a trash fire stutter fest, and then so I have to buy it on PC to get a smooth experience, even though I'm running a fairly top-end rig at the moment. It's just bad. I wonder if they were using the same engine as Witcher 3. Probably not. They would have had to license. That's called the Red engine. That they would have had to license that out from CD Projekt Red. And CDPR doesn't want to support that anymore. They've moved on to Unreal Engine with all of their internal projects now. The last one that used the Red engine was Cyberpunk. And they're still making very minor updates to that game, but every project forward is Unreal. So they dropped Red Engine in favor of Unreal Engine. So I can't imagine they're going to want to support Red Engine with another studio that wants to license it. If they've taken so many drastic steps to drop that engine, to drop support for it. So I doubt it. It'll be Unreal, or it'll be probably not Unity. There are a couple more. It could be an internal engine, but most likely it's Unreal. I was never a big fan of Unreal Engine. I found it very bloated in its memory data and tends to crash a lot. Yeah, I don't have the crashing issues. I just have stuttering. Even if I'm running at like 100 plus frames per second, the frame timing is so uneven. And for whatever reason, VSync doesn't seem to work for me for a lot of games, and neither does G-Sync or FreeSync. So the VRR stuff and then the VSync stuff doesn't actually smooth out the uneven frame timing. So even if I'm running at high frame rates, it's variable frame rates, and it's a muddy mess. And then even if I try to lock at a solid 60 frames per second or whatever, the frames per second stays completely steady, but then the frame timing between each frame is all over the place. And even if I'm locked at 60 frames per second, it looks very, very choppy and very uneven. And it's just, it gets to the point where it's just unplayable. It happened to me with a number of games. It happened to me with Jedi Survivor and Black Myth Wukong being the two main culprits for me, that I was very excited to play those games and very disappointed when it was just a mess to play. Blader, damn, first Square Enix with Kingdom Hearts and now CD Projekt Red, RAP custom engines that were, yeah, it's a bummer to me too. I really was a big fan of the Red engine for sure. Another one bites the dust. And I'm not a fan of Unreal Engine either. Okay, but moving on here, the Wayward Realms. This is a massive open world 3D RPG, action RPG. And this one has a lot, just like the last game, the Blood of the Dawnwalker, has the Witcher 3 DNA with a lot of the people that worked on that now working on that game. This one has a lot of old BGS, Bethesda Game Studio veterans on it. People who worked on these older games like Arena, Daggerfall, and then even onto Morrowind are now working on this project. So they're looking to get back into the more deep, complex RPG mechanics that BGS itself started to streamline out of their games around Morrowind. So if you're a fan of that complex, deep, maybe even overly so, RPG mechanics from those older Bethesda games, then this is worth getting excited for, I think. So another thing that's exciting about this game too is that this is the Kickstarter that Anai Sion is working on, the guy who does all my gameplay overhauls, the Skyrim modder that I use all of his mods all the time. Just because they work so well for expanding character building and being able to give you these new opportunities to implement build ideas that you weren't able to do in the vanilla game, giving you more options for that. He's working on this. This is, it's not his day job, but if he's not modding and he's not working to earn a living, he is working on this project. So that's kind of a cool overlap with this channel and Skyrim mods and Skyrim in general. And I think a lot of us should be keeping an eye on this. Catch up on chat here. To be honest, I don't want next Elder Scrolls to be. No, let's not even let's not even go there with Elder Scrolls on Unreal Engine. That's like my worst fear. It could be a broken mess, just like everything else on Unreal Engine. Well, it's okay. That's not true. Some studios do have some really good PC ports on Unreal Engine. The one that comes to mind is Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. Was an absolutely flawless graphical game. I had no issues whatsoever with frame timing, the full ray tracing implementation, the DLSS on there, frame gen, everything pumped up to the max, and I was getting 100 frames plus, and it was not stuttering one bit at all. I don't even remember a single stutter. Maybe like very minor traversal stutter when you go into a new area, but that's completely okay. I don't have a problem with that at all. But there was no shader compilation stutter. Like I said, the traversal stutter was very, very minimal. And then just moving the camera around was super smooth, whereas even that was a problem for me in Black Myth Wukong. So I had a really weird bug with The Witcher 3 where I'd stutter every time I did a heavy attack, and that would get me, that would let me parry the attack after being hit. No other issues with the game. Okay, that is weird. I didn't really have, so I didn't play The Witcher 3 until the remaster came out, like last year, the year before. It was probably the year before. They did a 64-bit upgrade to the game and its engine. And it had a lot of stuttering issues with that, but I was able to override that with the NVIDIA control panel. I was able to force that to cap at 60 frames per second and also force VSync on. And if I did that through the NVIDIA control panel, it worked fine and I got a smooth experience. If I tried to do it in the in-game menu, it would just be a stuttery mess. It would look really choppy. But that did actually become playable for me after some tweaking around with the drivers and stuff for the video card. This game might as well be Skyrim 2, you think? Oh wait, Skyrim 3 because we got Enderall. There you go. Well, it's going to be a completely different world and everything, but there, like I said, there's a lot of shared DNA. So yeah, you can think of it as like a spiritual successor, even if it's not a direct sequel, you know? I'm getting a lot of Oblivion vibes here and maybe a little bit of Morrowind because I'm not sure how much of this is actually voiced. I'm seeing a lot of text. I'm sure that they have to voice it, right? In 2025, they got to voice their dialogue. I don't know. We'll see. But this looks to be a huge, ambitious project. It's a Kickstarter, so it's a brand new team. I don't know what engine they're using for this. I don't think it mentions here. Maybe they haven't even disclosed what engine they're using yet. But it looks good. I mean, the materials, the metal on this stuff looks good. The animations look good. This looks like gameplay. I would think that's gameplay. There's a little bit of choppiness in the camera movements and stuff, but it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look unplayable like Jedi Survivor and Black Myth were to me. So maybe this stuff is real. It looks good. The lighting looks good. Oh, you can see yourself in first person view. I mean, we had to mod that even in Starfield. I don't think Starfield has that. Oh, it's got the Arx Fatalis kick. An immersive sim classic. We got some slow time going on here too. Yeah, good stuff, I think. Let me catch up on chat here. They're probably trying to remove our ability to create mods so they can charge an arm and a leg for... Well, no, I don't think that's the case. I think they want more people creating mods than less people. And it's not to drive up the price, it's to get more product out there for basically for free for them. The more people, because they don't really do much work at all. They just make sure it doesn't crash the game for the most part. And sometimes they don't even do that. But the like verified creations on like the Starfield creations menu, very few people get denied for that and for very weird reasons. But for the most part, they just approve pretty much everybody. And they do very little QA work once you submit something, and then they can charge you for it. It doesn't really matter how balanced it is. Doesn't really matter what the quality is for it. So Bethesda wanting to limit the amount of mods does not make sense at all to me. They want more mods out there because it's just almost pure profit for them. They just take a cut off of everybody else's work. So I don't think that's the case. I call bugs like that the Wazowski effect. Basically, whenever I'm involved, if something weird can happen, it will. Often the Wazowski. That sounds like Murphy's Law. The Wind. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're okay. So I know California is a huge place, but you're out of the way of the fires, right? I hope. Oh, that's been making big news. Wazowski was one of my nicknames back in high school alongside the Assassin. Well, the Assassin's more badass. Wazowski's just an eyeball with arms and legs, right? Silent Echo, what's up? Check out the first Berserker Kazan. It's been I've been playing the demo and it's awesome. Oh yeah, I saw that. That seems more of like a Souls-like with the action and stuff. That one's definitely on my list. I haven't seen a good showcase of that yet. But I know that a lot of people are looking forward to it. And I've seen a few showcases, or not showcases, but just like E3 showcase type stuff. Very little gameplay. Well, maybe some gameplay actually. The gameplay looks good. We'll see. I can actually look that up. Let's take a look at we'll take a look at that after. I only have one more game to show off right now, and it's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one. I never played KCD 1. You're in Northern California. Okay, so you're kind of out of the way of all that. That's good. Okay, let me re-catch up on chat here. Wazowski, First Berserker Kazan. Todd's confirmed that he does not want to remove Modder from Elder Scrolls or any. Yeah, he said that several times. I don't know if they're using Formal from Armor Design from Skyrim on here before they produce their own format. The Werewolves. Yeah, no, I don't think they can. They're a separate company from Bethesda. I don't think they can just reuse it. I mean, the 3D models usually can be passed back and forth from game engine to game engine. R is tracking you right now. Oh my goodness. Can't have R tracking me. Yeah, so very similar just because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of BGS DNA in Wayward Realms, but yeah, they could probably pass the 3D models back and forth as like mods and things like that, but I don't think you can make any money off of BGS's stuff if you're another studio. Yeah, it's a Souls-like. More gameplay footage now that demo is out. Cool. Yeah, I'll check that out here in a second. Hundreds of miles away, South Carolina. Yeah. That's not the assassin. It's assassin. You got the nickname when you found out you're okay. Good. Lactose intolerant. Yeah, I like that. Good one. Let's see. Just assume malicious intent when dealing with large groups of people. What's this? What's all this? Psionic Dante. Yeah, we're going to get into the Skyrim stuff real soon, but I try to get all like the news and conversational stuff out of the way so I can focus on that a little later. So we're going to do the Triumvirate Cleric very soon, but there was some gameplay showcases that I saw this week that caught my eye. One of them here is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So like I said, I haven't played KCD 1, but it was kind of polarizing a little bit because it is a very clunky sort of, you do everything in very immersive ways, sort of like a hardcore roleplay thing where sharpening, it showed Henry here sharpening up his sword, and you have to do like all the little movements and everything on the grinding stone and all that. The combat is very simulation heavy, where you have to kind of direct the motion of your weapons as you're swinging them and where to block and everything. So it is more on the sort of hardcore simulation side of these role-playing games, whereas Bethesda is very much on the fun gameplay side of things. Less simulaty and more just go have fun with this stuff. This is on the other side of it. It's going to be very kind of nitpicky with everything that it makes you do. At least that's what I've heard. As I said, I haven't actually played the first one. Skill Up here says that it's more of the same, but a lot more of the same. This is a very huge, vast, very large open world game. A lot of hours to put into it. So if you're into this kind of thing, definitely feel free to start looking forward to this and be excited for it. For me, I got to find some time to actually play Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. It is in my Steam library. It's in my backlog for games that I haven't played yet. Hopefully I'll have some time to play it in 2025, but I'm not going to actually spend any money on KCD 2 until I find out that I actually enjoy KCD 1, because there's a good chance that I won't like it, because I'm definitely more on the sort of have fun gameplay kind of side of things with these games. So we'll see. It is sometimes these things vibe with me, sometimes they don't. I just got to try it and see. And I got KCD 1 on sale for ridiculously cheap. I have probably like $10 at some point, so not out too much money if it doesn't pan out. All right, let me catch up on chat here, and then we'll move on to the first Berserker Kazan. Of course, the Switch 2 is coming out. Yeah, I saw that. That was a 2-minute sort of teaser, an announcement thing. Mario Kart 9, of course, I am looking forward to Mario Kart 9 because I enjoy making enemies of all my friends, and nothing pisses friends off at each other more than Mario Kart. I was playing a cleric as well, but it's a Blood Molag Bal themed cleric that focuses on healing vampires. Interesting. Yeah, there are a lot of edgelords out there for Skyrim content for sure. And I'm not saying there's anything. I'm not making fun of you for that or anything. But my Shadow Ninja build is definitely my most popular video on Skyrim, and I think it has pretty much all to do with its sort of dark edgelordy themes that it has on it. And a lot of other people have found the same too. A lot of vampire, shadow mage, necromancer type builds do really well on everybody's channels. So it's a theme that that gets the gamer community going though, for sure. Retrying my Dragon Priest character, hoping the Dragon Priest ashes will appear. Cool. The Shadow Ninja definitely has edgelord vibes. I'm a bit of an edgelord myself. Yeah, I think we all are. Haster is here. Haster's definitely an edgelord. How's it going, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Edgelord Kazan, that's what we're looking at? I'm just kidding. First Berserker Kazan. We'll take a look at gameplay here. Let's see. We've done enough Extra Life here. I know he ruffles some feathers. We'll go somewhere else. Okay. I don't know who this Wild Gamer SK is, but we'll see. Okay, so we got kind of this cell shading stuff. These are 3D graphics, but they have a cell shading to the texture on them. Instead of having like these parallax textures that are photogrammatized and things like that, hyper realistic, they instead of having like these very fine lines and particles and effects all over stretched across a model and these very detailed textures, they do what's called the cell shading effect, where it is little less detailed, I would say, but it does have a very cool looking, it does make for a cool looking art style to it. It's almost like a comic book. This looks very comic booky. Guilty Gear Strive, the newer Guilty Gear fighting games, do this really well too, except more on the anime slant than the comic book slant. So this one looks like it's doing it really well too. These are all 3D graphics, but it has a very kind of hand-drawn, hand-painted effect to it, which I think looks really cool. Very stylized. So this is looking really cool. I don't know if this is the demo gameplay. All right, so it seems like there's definitely some mood setting going on here. Setting up some set pieces. Looks like the player character this is how he's getting out of his imprisonment here. So yeah, definitely pretty cinematic. It looks like the art style is really fantastic. The gameplay is fun to play, quick reaction times, dodging, parrying, etc., plus attacks while dodging and parrying, quick movements in anime style fighting. Cool. Oh, you're saying play it for the Fextra Life one? Yeah. I played a Fextra Life video earlier in the stream, I think before you came in. So yeah, Fextra's got he got his time in the sun in my 12 viewer stream here. The gameplay is fun to play, quick reaction times. Yeah, I remember struggling with cell shade graphics when I played Prince of Persia. Okay, so you didn't like it, or I don't care, dude. He's good at the games. Yeah, no, the thing that I like about Fextra, I did some research on this stuff, and none of the stuff that he did bad that are pissing people off, it doesn't really bother me all that much. I could see why it would bother you if you're supporting smaller channels or whatever that, because he does use his networks and his platforms as far as his wiki and everything to his advantage, and I can see how somebody might think that that's an unfair advantage. And then the breaking embargo stuff, which is a repeated thing. But I didn't see anything that really kind of put a fire in my belly. One thing I do like about Fextra Life, though, is that he does put a spotlight on independent games, on indie games that other large platforms will not. So there's some stuff that I found out from Fextra Life that I would just not know about otherwise, and has actually been some games that I've really enjoyed. So You know, you got to take the bad with the good. Sometimes the good is that he does spotlight indie games quite well. Yeah, and he gets straight to the point. Also, yeah, he doesn't dramatize anything. He just gets right to it. So yeah, if you're gonna criticize him for doing the things he does wrong, you also kind of gotta, you know, give him props for the things he does right. Be fair and centrist about it. All right. So this looks good. I really want to see some actual gameplay here, but the intro scene looks pretty freaking moody. Talk about edgelords over here, right? This looks like an edgelord winner for sure. You got these bloody arms. You got the flowing hair. Yeah. Let's see here. The gameplay's fun. Kazan kind of messed with my mind. It was kind of like I couldn't calculate distances and such, but I got over it. Okay. Well, this one is more detailed than the old school cell shading that you would see like in what's the Gearbox game, Borderlands, and the old Prince of Persia one. Yeah, if you're expecting a certain thing and you're not getting the detail that you want, I can see how that might be a little off-putting and cause some sensory perception issues for some people. But this is detailed enough. It does have very distinct 3D graphics, even if the effect looks hand-drawn. So you might not be as put off by this as you were by the old school cell shading. This looks really, really good to me. I'm planning Wild Elf Time Weaver using the AT of Time will cool and quiet powerful when it... Yeah, sorry, James. I'm trying. Light mode? My eyes. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm one of the freaks. I tried dark mode. I don't like it. It makes me sleepy. I need the stimulus from the light to keep me awake when I'm at a computer. Otherwise, I go right to sleep. I've tried it at work. My coworkers, I use light mode for like Visual Studios and stuff when I'm looking at code, and whenever I have to share my screen to do like group programming or something, they're like, "What the hell are you doing, you freak? Put it in dark mode." And I'm like, "I can't. I'll fall asleep. I gotta work." Only thing I can't dark mode is Xedit. Is that because you like can't do it technically, or because you need the extra light? Light mode for reading is best. Yeah, I don't know. I was the same way in the office too. Back before we went work from home after the pandemic. There were a lot of engineers sitting at their computer that made special requests to facilities to have the overhead lighting above their above their cubicles turned off. And that would drive me nuts, because then it was dark in my area again. And it's like, I don't want to piss this person off by having facilities turn the light back on, but like, what do I do at that point? So I ended up maneuvering to get a window seat with lots of natural light that I could control. And that worked well for me. Dark mode for Xedit surprisingly makes it more difficult to use. Interesting. I wonder if it's like a spreadsheet thing, because Xedit is basically like a spreadsheet with a left panel, right? All right, we saw some gameplay here. We're chit-chatting a little bit though. See if I can find some actual combat. Yeah, it does seem very Soulsy. You got the lock on here. You have a very defensive enemy. Lots of wind-up time. One thing I like about this, though, it has the animation speed of a character action game, like a Devil May Cry or a God of War. One of my, I wouldn't call it a complaint, but one of the things that I don't love about Souls-like games is when you hit like your attack button, a lot of times it takes a lot of frames of animation to actually get to where the hurt box, the hurt boxes are actually activated. And that's all due to the design of the game, right? They want things to be kind of slower and methodical, and then to give you time to react to things, and to, when you do hit a button to attack, that you're committing to that attack. Because when you hit that button, there's so many frames of animation in there that if you miss, or if you don't time it right, you're gonna either get counter hit out of it before your hurt boxes become active, or you're gonna leave yourself wide open to a follow-up attack once you whiff, where they block it. A lot of fighting game mechanics going on in there, but just at a very slower pace. This one seems more fast-paced. Yeah, the enemies are even attacking a lot faster. So yeah, it might be a Souls-like with the death mechanics and everything like that and the difficulty, but it looks like it plays more like a God of War. From what I can see. I haven't played it, but, you know. This dude sucks at the game. It kind of looks like it. I would go to the end boss of the Fextra Life vid so you can see the cool moves. Okay, cool. So, yeah, that was from 2 days ago. That's probably this one, huh? Yeah, that's why I didn't showcase it on my own, because I know we've seen this game before. Mission 2 final boss, cool. So it wasn't new. It didn't catch my eye as much because we had seen quite a bit of this game, but it looks like we got some new stuff for the demo here. His hair is looking pretty, all tied up like that. Nice high ponytail. He figures, what the hell, I'll just stick my hand into this giant magical tornado. And then he figures, what the hell, I'll just walk into it. This dude's pretty badass. I bet he dry swallows his aspirin. No glass of water needed. I'm having trouble with this end boss. Keeps clapping my cheeks. I can get to his second phase, but he's so much more aggressive. Yeah, that's a very Souls-like thing, right? It's like you spend all this time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears getting through this boss, and then you finally beat him, and you feel so awesome about yourself. It's like you feel like a complete badass, and then all of a sudden, the boss resurrects and in a different form, and it's like way harder, and you're like, son of a bitch. Yep, definitely edgelordy. Woo, he's going fast. This does look hard. So I didn't see much parrying there. That looked like mostly blocking. These are so fast, though. Unless you know the timing, it's probably very hard to just walk into this fight and start parrying stuff. That's more Souls-like timing there, with the big wind-ups. Those flashes are perfect parries? Okay. Yeah, okay. So they were blocking before. Yeah, he's blocking the fast stuff, and then he's parrying the more telegraph stuff, which is how this works. And this is phase 2, yeah. They kind of went with the Code Vein formula, 3D environment and 2D characters. Yeah, kind of. Although the environments look 2D stylized too, I think it's mainly the faces that you're looking at. The anime-ized face, that looks very flat, very 2D. But like the armor models and everything look very 3D, and the weapons. Yeah, this looks tough. This is going to take a lot of practice. When does this come out? Do we know? And then we also have Phantom Blade Zero that looked really good at some of the Summer Games Fest footage. That might be a PS5 exclusive, though, but it's kind of along the same vein as this stuff. I did actually buy Stellar Blade on sale not too long ago, too. I got a hard copy of it for my PS5. I'm looking forward to playing that. Trying to get through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on my PS5 first, though. Oh, that looks cool. Is there some kind of like install or like Devil Trigger mode that you, like a Berserk mode or something? Oh, here, now we're getting into phase 2 stuff, it looks like. Oh, yep, anime moment. I saw that scene about 7 times in Dragon Ball Z when I was into that. The fist catch is part of the skill tree. He's barely taking damage from this boss. Yeah. Dude has a lot of Souls-like experience, that's for sure. That's what I was saying earlier. Like his Souls builds are really good. You can follow his Souls, his Elden Ring and his Dark Souls build guides and do pretty well for yourself. It's the the Diablo and the Path of Exile stuff that is usually off meta, but at least it's coherent. And yeah, a dude can play video games. Oh shit. This looks epic. If this is like the first boss that you're fighting in the demo, can you imagine some of the extra boss fights that you're going to get throughout the game? That's going to be sick. Stellar Blade kind of went with Nier Automata gameplay. Yeah, and I played Nier Automata for about 10 hours, but it's barren open world. I felt like I was just using the open world to just uneventfully go from point A to point B, and the distance between point A and point B to where you get to the really cool like set piece story stuff was just, it took too long. But the story and the set pieces and the action and everything were all really good in Nier. It's the first boss. The ghost that inhabits Kazan. Drinks peanut butter through a straw. Yeah, there you go. Dry scoops of the pre-workout. Yeah, there you go. I took an allergy pill without water one time. I just kind of dry swallowed it. And my wife was like, "Did you just dry swallow that pill?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You're so badass." And then she like a couple days later, she saw a meme that's like, "Don't mess with people who dry swallow their pills. They're just operating on a different level." So it's always nice to feel like a badass in front of your significant other, I guess. Like, I didn't think it was that impressive. It was a small pill. Cool. It looks like there's different armor sets and stuff that you can get as well. Other character action games, they might have one or two skins that you can use on your character, but or in the case of Stellar Blade, there's a lot of sexy booby waifu skins and outfits that you can get that don't really apply many changes to the gameplay. But it looks like if this is following Souls-like stuff, there's probably new weapons and armor and different equipment and stuff that you can get. Okay, was that it I had for gaming news and new games that I wanted to show? I think that was it. Yeah, we did Blood of the Dawnwalker, Wayward Realms, Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is going to be a really good year. 2025 is going to be a really good year for those of us who like an action role-playing game, I think. And we have Path of Exile 2 coming out, probably sometime summer, mid-late year, out of early access anyway. Yeah, it'll be a good year for action RPGs. We're eating good, fellas and ladies. Possession, yeah, that works. Okay, fact. If a drug recommends to swallow water, I would suggest so due to may need chemical effect like water to break down. Yeah, some of them just recommend that too as just a general health thing to just make sure you're getting enough water throughout the day. Just to make sure your hydration levels are good. And mine usually are. Yeah, but that's a good call, James. I hadn't thought of that. I can't play Souls games. I play Elden Ring as my first Souls game and had a bad time. Elden Ring's tough. Elden Ring might be a tough one. My first one was Demon Souls on the PlayStation 3, and you talk about having a tough time. That game felt like work, man. And most of the time you're playing at somewhere between 10 and 20 frames per second on that game, and that was before people, got snobby about their frame rates and frame timings and stuff. That 7th gen console generation was tough for frame rates, man. Grand Theft Auto 5, I think, was one of the worst. Grand Theft Auto 5 put Cyberpunk to shame with its frame rates on console. And Grand Theft Auto 5 was universally celebrated as one of the best games of all time on those consoles. And then Cyberpunk came out, and everybody's expectations on performance and everything had risen so dramatically that even with better performance than Grand Theft Auto 5, people were just lambasting that game for its performance. One thing that GTA 5 had for it, though, was that it was extremely stable, even if it was poorly performant or non-performant. It was stable, whereas Cyberpunk was not. Armor sets, weapons, types of dual wielding, great sword and spear. Sweet, man. It probably is a skill issue with Elden Ring, but also if you don't like those games enough to get good at them, then that's I wouldn't fault you for that, right? They do take a lot of skill, they do take a lot of practice, but then it's like the game has to be enjoyable enough for you to put that kind of time and effort into it. And if it's not for you, then you just shouldn't do it. Video games are supposed to be fun, right? Don't play video games that aren't fun, I would say. I used to drive swallow 4 to 5 different meds when I was younger and had more severe autism. Jeez, man. Yeah, I'm not that badass. Oh, Elden Ring is considered easier and more forgiving compared to the rest of the Souls. But I would not say it's accessible, right? It is more forgiving for sure. Easier, maybe. Depending on how you do your build, some of the magic in that game is a lot more powerful than anything you get in Dark Souls. But it's definitely not an easy game, and it's not very accessible because it's so huge, it's so wide open. It's really hard to get into that game and know right away what it is you're supposed to do, right? It's tough. Fair enough. Yeah, especially like Bloodborne or Demon Souls or Sekiro. Yeah, Sekiro, I haven't played that one yet, but I really want to. But as far as I have heard, it's a little more linear, a little less open world. So it does direct you a little more, and at least if the action is harder and more intense and more like twitchy based, it might be more clear what it is you have to do in order to get past this boss. So that might be more accessible to some people. Yeah, at least Sekiro had a straightforward story. Everything else is convoluted. Yeah, everything in Dark Souls and Elden Ring is very convoluted. Got to play a mage and use summons to make it easy on your... Yeah, that's kind of what Demon Souls did too. There were easy classes to start off with to make the game easier, and then the hard ones for the people who wanted more of a challenge. I made the mistake with picking who I thought was the coolest looking, which was the Wanderer. And that's kind of like a light armored, single-bladed, dexterity, timing-based, reactionary warrior that it didn't work out well for a baby's first playthrough of a Souls game. I picked wrong. But I made it work through half the game. I just couldn't do it anymore. Sorcerer outfits. These look supreme. Yes, they look very good, don't they? Just because of the summons and tools you can use. Sekiro is a parry simulator. I think you had parry, right? The first time. And then you switched it to Luke parry afterwards. Luke parry simulator. There you go. End King. Matthew Perry Simulator. There you go. I think those are both... yeah. No, it's Perry with an A for the action. Okay. So yeah, I had some mods that caught my eye that I wanted to share with all of y'all. This one, Sorcerer Outfits. This is physics enabled. And there are some brightly colored kind of... These go for both male and female models. You may or may not like the open shoulders part of it, but you can always put like a fur mantle or something over the top to cover those up. But these all look really good. These are all physics enabled, so you have the flowing sort of tassets on here and the hoods and everything. I'm thinking that for pretty much any kind of magic-based characters, and even monks, these would work really well. And then I'm also a fan of quick armor rebalance. So for a monk character, you can change these into light armor if you wanted to. Traditionally, monks don't wear any armor. They just wear clothing, right? But in the Ordinator skill trees, it's a subtree of the light armor skill tree. And you don't necessarily have to don the light armor to take advantage of those. It's just the skill that they use. But if you wanted a light armored monk, see, this looks badass. This is a male character. The open shoulders here don't bother me at all for this. But the black, this looks great. This looks awesome for like an assassin character or something. That one looks a little more effeminate, which, you know, may or may not be what you're going for in your male mage, but it doesn't kind of bother me as much as the wide open neck area here. But if you're wearing the cloak on it, that doesn't, or if you have a giant beard like this guy does, it doesn't seem to affect it as much. But yeah, you can throw something like Nern necessities on if you don't like the open neck area. They have the sort of mask, the duster mask, that you can put over, which would make for an awesome assassin character with some of these. This looks badass too. We got kind of a shadow mage kind of thing going on here. You could do the same with the druids, with the green. Yeah, these all look fantastic. And like I said, oh yeah, here's your monk stuff. He's doing his kung fu moves or whatever. His tai chi moves. Wait, what was I going to say earlier? Oh yeah, physics enabled, QAR. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. So like I said earlier, and then I lost it. It was gone. But anyway, this is a great looking set. I'm going to install these for my next profile after the Triumvirate Cleric, because I have a vampire character coming up and a warlock, a Triumvirate warlock. Those are going to be the two sort of parallel characters that I'll be working on at the same time once I get a couple more of these builds out. By the way, the warrior build is coming along great. I'll give you a sneak peek here so that I don't forget about it. Wet and Cold has the masks also. Kind of look too plasticky, doesn't look like fabric. Well, that could have a lot to do with the ENB that the person was running to, and just the lighting in the game can make a big impact on what the different materials look like. These look okay to me. Maybe a little more tightly wound than the loosely wound like canvas fabric that you see in a lot of the clothing overhauls and stuff in Skyrim, but yeah, they don't look too bad to me. Yeah, so let's see, 23 minutes into the warrior build guide here, and I'm getting very close to the end, I think.
Make a potion with Fortify One-Handed and Fortify. Click the link on the top of the video to view the Unstoppable Force Shield Sprint perk. Gives you a fantastic way to close distance against a powerful mage enemy and start your own offense. Great sets that can be obtained early to mid-game. These sets include
everybody
plate,
loves great sets, right?
Plate, Orcish Plate, Steel Soldier, and Iron Plate armors. As this character is an Imperial engineer,
yeah, but anyway,
I spent a lot of time.
That's it. This is I don't want to give away too much stuff there. But yeah, very close to the end of that. I think I'm all the way through the gear stuff. I just need to post some of the potions, the potion recipes that I have for the gear section, and then I move on to a very short spells, shouts, and transformation section, and then move on to roleplay, gameplay combos, and then the outro. So I'm a good 3/4 of the way through, if not more. So with my wife being out of town for the next couple of weeks, I feel like I'm gonna have more time to work on this, and I should have this out by the end of next week for the warrior, and then I'll put all my editing and production effort into the mage, and then we still have a lot of leveling to do on the thief and the Triumvirate Cleric, right? Yes, vampire build. So it's going to be a sacrosanct vampire build, and I am going to spec that build out to use light armor for the unarmed stuff in the vampire lord form, a lot of raw power in the destruction tree for the hemomancy, maybe some conjuration stuff for the gargoyles, and I don't know if I'm going to dip into necromancy just yet because I want to do a necromancer focused character at some point. And then sneak and illusion. Basically anything that a sacrosanct vampire gives you a buff in, I am going to lean into with the build. Yep. It does take a lot of time to edit that video. Yes, it does. It takes a lot of time. I would say it, even not counting playing the character, like I have probably a good 230 hours on the warrior character alone, just to get to the point where it's like, okay, now I can organize my thoughts on what makes this character tick. And then here's the script for the entire, oops, I don't know why that grabbed that. Okay. Here's the script for the warrior build guide. These are all my thoughts on everything. This I have to take voice recordings of this whole damn thing, get rid of all my ums and ahs and my, coughs and every time I stumble or choke or burp or anything. I have to edit all that out in Audacity, and then I put it into the video editor and start finding footage to splice on top of it. And then you have your like presentational PowerPoint stuff that goes on top of that. It is a ton of work. I would estimate well over 80 hours for just production work alone, on top of, whatever 200 plus hours for the playthrough. It's crazy. It's a lot of work, and I think I've made a good between $400 and $500 off of YouTube in the last 2 or 3 years. So if you're trying to make a living off of YouTube, you got to know it does not pay well unless you're Mr. Beast and you can do the clickbaity stuff. Yep, it's a lot. So that's why I had one build guide last year. One, but we should have more of this because I've been doing a lot of this stuff in parallel now as far as the playthroughs and everything, so should be good. I think I'll get the warrior, the mage, and the thief all out this year. I'll try for more, but I think I'll be able to get all of them. Too much fabric for my... Oh, you like the hard metal stuff, huh? They made a yellow and black variant. If they made a yellow and black variant, this would have been perfect for your Scorpion playthrough. It would have, absolutely. There was some bandoliered bags and pouches on that. Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice... It is a nice kind of blank canvas. There's not a whole lot of tchotchkes hanging off of it, so you can add more accoutrements to it, as you guys are saying there. For a monk, I use hand-to-hand and unarmored custom skill tree. Yeah, I did a monk build years and years ago that used something called advanced unarmed combat, which gives you a block and block bash without having a shield in your hand. And it, coupled with Ordinator's unarmed perk tree, was completely overpowered at like level 30. It was ridiculously strong. So next time I do a monk build, it'll be all in Irem. I'm not gonna go above and beyond that. Silk, perhaps, yeah, something like silk, but you can see the grain. It's more like a linen or a cotton, but more modern, right? You can see the grain. Maybe with the bit rate that I'm running, you can't really see the details enough, but you can see the weave on the fabric here. It's just the colors are brighter and a little more saturated than maybe what you would expect. And there is kind of a sheen to it. Like some of these leather pieces are shining, and the brown looks leather. But then we're seeing like the fabric on the chest here, on the boobies, also reflecting light. So usually fabric isn't that shiny. So maybe that's what you're getting at. I can see like a silk or a nylon, maybe. That might work. But anyway, I think it looks cool. Let's move on to the next one. So this is a gameplay one here. And I might just go ahead and add this to my thief character next time I play her, probably next week. Oh, by the way, I also fixed my Argonian tails. I used a longer SMP tail for Argonians, and it looks better, but I had to use the smaller model because it was too fat for me. But yeah, now no more metronome tail that Ireshot was making fun of me for last week. It's now an actual working tail. Looks a lot better. But yeah, this one, if you are in sneak and then you hit the sprint button, if you have something like a silent roll installed, then you'll get the silent roll. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything. This will actually exit your sneak crouch into a sprint. So nothing really kind of sexy or game-changing about this. This is just kind of a quality of life thing to where it's now just working how you may have thought that it was supposed to work from the beginning, and then for whatever reason didn't work when you tried to use it. So yeah, I might throw this in for my thief playthrough. I think she's the only one that I'm playing right now that actually uses sneak. So next time I boot her up, and this is just a script. It's just an SKSE script, so you can drop this in whenever. No ESP. Oh no ESP, no scripts. Just install, uninstall, update whenever. So it's safe to add mid playthrough, mid save. So Yeah, I'm going to put that in there just because at some point I can see my thief getting into trouble and then wanting to make a sprint away and instead just doing a stupid little silent roll, which doesn't help at all. And now she'll do a complete sprint out of it. So that's good stuff. You know, that is a good point about the robes being a blank canvas. Some modders make their outfits so hyper detailed that it can really only be one character. Yeah, or just not give you room to put, you know, bandoliers, and it looks kind of funny with a quiver on it, or if you have like these, something like immersive equipment display or all geared up and you want to display your weapons on you, it's just, it doesn't work as well because there's already shit all over your armor, right? Wonder if someone can make a tail whip attack for Argonians. I'm sure they can. It's completely within the realm of possibility, I think. I would not be completely surprised to see that they've already done that. Here, let me put this in chat. There you go. All right, next one. Death Consumes All. DLC quest mod revamped. Okay, so this looks like a sort of fixed, rebooted quest mod. 30-hour journey. So if you're looking to do more in Skyrim, if you're looking to add more to your game and your world, this might be a good one. People are really liking this one. Some quest mods are really kind of hit or miss, but people are really liking this one. It's a DLC size mod. I think it adds like new worlds and stuff into it. Very cool stuff. So if you're looking for more hours to spend, more things to do in Skyrim, more quests and more stories to experience, this might be a good one for you. I love those visible favorited weapons that display on your character. Hell yeah, man. To me, having visible weapons on your character is like, especially dual sheath stuff, is a huge way to sort of enable the look of a character concept that you had in your mind. And if you can get the look right, that helps character building so much, helps with immersion, helps you get into your character's frame of mind, and it just helps you enjoy the character a lot more. Just having, you know, the weapons that your character carries just be visible on them all the time. It's just a really cool thing. Style over substance. Yes, indeed. Okay. So this one looks cool. Oh, there's a trailer for this too I haven't watched yet. Oh shit. Let's start that over.
The plague's power is strengthening in Rorikstead.
Voice acting is actually pretty good.
If we fail, Tamriel will not stand a chance against the plague.
It's the undead, charging in hordes!
Not the undead. This trailer's really well done. Definitely showing off some custom movesets with that sword there. Well, I don't know how well this represents the whole mod.
An undead dragon!
Oh shit, they're going Game of Thrones on this, huh? Well, I guess we had a skeletal dragon in Labyrinthian in the main quest. Is that Riverwood? That looked like Riverwood. Got some Reachman going on here.
You are pleasant company. More than pleasant. The existence of villains
Thirst
such as
trap.
the undead demands always the swords of justice.
She wants our swords of justice.
Don't let the Argonians get the other tree.
Yeah, cool stuff. Very well edited too. I was gonna say at first, this doesn't really show everything that you're gonna be doing in the mod, but it did a better job later on. Yeah, the voice acting sounds really, really good. So yeah, I'll play that at some point. I usually don't add like a lot of content mods to my game. It's usually just you know, weapons and armor to build up a certain character concept that I have in my mind, and then certain gameplay stuff that I feel like, you know, adds to the gameplay that I can more express that character concept through in terms of a play style. That being said, I have played through and enjoyed Falskar, Beyond Skyrim. Bruma is really good. There was a lot of stuff to like about Beyond Reach, even though that was kind of a technical mess at the time. But I do have the quote-unquote fixed version of that, so I was going to test that after I got through... I haven't played Worm's Tooth yet. I was going to play through the Beyond Reach stuff, the fixed stuff. I was going to test that after I got through the Vigilant quest line, which is going to take me more time because I got to level up in order to get through the Vigilant stuff. Okay, guys. Holy crap. That was an hour and 10 minutes just doing the introductory stuff and the news and everything. All right, I am going to take a very, very quick break. I just need to get a glass of water, I think, and I'll be back probably within 30 seconds or so. So I'll do that. I'll start up the game in the meantime, and I shall return very shortly. All right, we're good. I'm back. Did you guys miss me again? You guys are always missing me too much. It's kind of weird. You're like obsessed with me or something. Kidding. I know I'm going to miss her soon, but my wife's out of town right now, and I got this kind of like giddy energy because now I get to use the TV for whatever the fuck I want. I'll be able to get caught up on all my shows and my PS5 games that I want to play and everything. Such freedom! I'm kidding. Kidding. I love my wife a lot. I'm sad to see her go. All right. We are back with Cassius, what's his name? Cassius Veritas? Cassius Viridius, our Triumvirate Cleric. We're here outside of Winterhold. I was doing some training on some of my magic skills over here at the college. Let's take a look at the build really quick here. Some of the changes that I've done. Let's just go through the skills real quick. We'll start with Illusion. Illusion is the skill that we're using for the Spirit Guardian here, which is a Triumvirate Cleric Illusion spell, which is a summon. What's cool about this summon is you summon them and they stay out for a long time, but then you can interact with them like a follower, including giving them equipment to use. So this one has a bunch of heavy armor, which is going to synergize really well with some of the heavy armor perks that affect followers and allies. But yeah, you can give them anything you want them to use, and they will use it. I don't see any of the NFF stuff in here, the Nether's follower framework stuff, pop up in here as far as like the extra follower inventory and things like that. One thing that I did notice is that if this guy dies or he gets despawned, all of his inventory just goes back into your inventory. So if you don't have the encumbrance space for any of this, you might become over encumbered in the middle of a battle, which sucks. So having access to potions of strength and things like that is quite important. If you start getting close to your encumbrance levels in a dungeon dive or whatever, that's what that's all about. But since there are other illusion skills or illusion spells that we use with the Triumvirate Cleric, Exile is one of them. This is a nice kind of battlefield general tactical spell where you get to take one of your enemies off the board for a certain amount of time. Target up to level 18 is hidden from this world for 15 seconds. So if you're being overrun by a bunch of different enemies, you can sort of disable them for a few seconds to have you and your followers all focus on a single enemy for a while, or at least even the battle until you can thin the herds out a little bit more. Spirit Guardian is the one that I just showed off there. Lasts 18 hours. That's a long time. Suggestion. This one I'm having a real hard time trying to find a use for. Cassian. Is it Cassian or is this Cassius? I thought it was Cassius. It is. Oh no, it is Cassian. How about that? I was like, how did I get my own name wrong? Yeah, it's been a while since I played this guy, turns out. Suggestion. I have had, if any of you have suggestions on how to use suggestion, let me know. But basically, you can target that with any NPC as long as they're not in combat with you. And then you get the vanilla follower command. So if you say, I need you to do something, you can have that NPC go wait somewhere. So the most useful thing that I could find with this is to have like a blacksmith is using his workbench or something, and I need to temper my armor, to have him go somewhere else to free up that thing, or like a miner in a mine that's on an ore vein that I wanted. I can use this to get them to move. But I couldn't think of anything else. You can sneak up and use this out of combat, but as soon as you use it, if you're not a sneaky character, which most clerics will not be, you have to have the silent casting perk. You probably have to have enough sneak skill to not be detected, because this does not work in combat. No, even then it won't work. You would have to calm the enemy and then use suggestion to like get them to go into a trap or something like that, which is the most gameplay thing I can think of to use with this. Get a guard to go someone else, to get someone else out of the way. Oh, there you go. I like that one of your companions is Meridia Jr. Yeah, basically, right? Got that same glow. Illusion, Calm, or Voice of the Emperor. Yeah, kind of. You can synergize it with Calm for sure, but you need to calm them, and then you can suggest an enemy go step on a trap or something like that. That's kind of cool. It would be good for like a sneaky agent type character, which is giving me ideas now. I've always wanted to redo my agent. Anyway, that's why I'm doing these Triumvirate ones, because I want to get to know the spells intimately. Ideally, you would use suggestion on Daedra worshippers to tell them to go to church. But you probably can't do that. No, I don't think the game's going to let me do that. Okay, so that's the illusion stuff. And then I obviously just did the, mastery for the stuff lasts longer and is cheaper to cost. It's cheaper to cost. In combat, you radiate an aura of mystical nobility. So basically, this stuff just buffs up my followers and all my allies, gives them more attack damage, more critical strike chance. Also increases armor and magic resistance. So everybody's going to be doing more damage. They're going to be taking more damage. And we'll probably do the rest of this stuff too. Twice as powerful as long as you remain above 75% health, which is the plan. And then when struck by a weapon, may compel a nearby ally affected by commanding presence to engage your attacker, doing 250% extra damage for 5 seconds. So this is great. I'm definitely going to use this whole subtree. Anything else, I'm not really casting illusion spells on people, so I'm probably not going to do things like Kindred Mage and Master of the Mind and things like that. And I'm not using fear spells or anything else, so this other stuff like Terror, Pandemonium, Nightfall, this stuff isn't going to work well either. Entice Barter maybe, but that's more of like a bard, like vendor type thing. And then the Nemesis is more like Warlock, Dark Mage stuff, summoning like doppelgangers and things. So I feel like Illusion is going to be we're investing perks into it, but not many. I think I got 2 more in here that really fit with this character, and I think it's more cleric-like to buff your allies than it is to nerf your enemies. And there's like a whole subtree in this skill that is all about nerfing enemies. And then again, the nerfs are more about how effective your illusion spells are on them. And since we're not really casting those illusion spells, it's not really much there. That's fine. We'll save some perks in that tree. No bigs. This one, Destruction, is a little bit more nuanced than that. So, Consecrated Ground, which is that huge area of effect spell that I'm using with this character. I have it hooked up to Okado's Recital right now. You'll see it when we get into a battle, but basically it's just this huge, like, holy dome that covers the entire battlefield, and it does a little bit of damage, and I think, like, damage to magic over time. Sanctify the battlefield, doing 10 fire and sun damage per second for 30 seconds. So, raw power, for whatever reason, buffs this spell up, but not the other ones. The fire stuff is affected, I think maybe Holy Fire. This is the one you enchant your weapon with. And Solar Ray definitely is affected by the fire stuff. So I am also speccing into fire. I have Combustion right now, 1 of 2 ranks. I can take the second one as soon as I level up. And then I'm going to take all of these. I might have to respec. Some of these may not work with that Solar Ray, and some of them might. Some of them may or may not work with Consecrated Ground as well, but I'll be taking all of these to see, you know, which ones do work, which ones don't work. But the ones that do work, especially the ones that are going to reduce fire resistance by the enemies, are going to make this build much more powerful. So I'm hoping more of these work than don't. Use it on Harkon and tell him to chill out and spend some time with his wife and kid. That's a good one. Yep. I think both Kitty Tail and Dureni have made illusion-based spell packs, but don't quote me on that. I will get into the Kitty Tail stuff at some point. I do want to make builds off of those spell sets, but I still got a lot of NI stuff that I want to do first. We'll get in there. If there's a Kitty Tail spell mod pack that enables a build that I want to do at some point, I would like to have knowledge of them and how they work. So I do want to cover them at some point, but yeah, I have way more build ideas than I have time at the moment. Illusion has a rally spell, it buffs health. Yes, rally might be good. I think for the Triumvirate Cleric, I want to focus on the Triumvirate spells just to get a good handle on how these are all supposed to work together. All the other spells I know, the vanilla spells I mean anyway. So stuff like rally and courage and stuff, I might use it. But I have other things that the cleric wants to do at the beginning of a battle that I don't want those things to get in the way so much. Mostly I want to, because I have perks, I'm sorry, spells that buff my teammates and everything that I have to cast actively. I don't want the vanilla manual cast stuff like rally getting in the way of the cleric stuff for the cleric build, if that makes sense. If I can get stuff to proc off passively during battle through perks or things like that, then yeah, absolutely, I'll keep using it. But if I'm casting a different kind of spell in the middle of battle, it might convolute things a little bit, even if it will make things stronger. Eventually, you should have your Pure Warrior, Mage, and Rogue as companions as you buff them and let them take the glory. There you go. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I would have to get something like Prometheus or something like that in order to port them over, or just, you know, make them freehand in the creation kit or whatever. But anyway, this is what I have so far in Destruction. I have 1 point in raw power, 1 in combustion, which makes fire spells more powerful based on the missing health of your enemy. Scarring Burns. Fire spells reduce the fire resistance of their target by 20%. That is great. So we're up to 20% strength boost, and then another 20% strength boost via dropped resistances. So already these fire spells or fire effects are getting more powerful. What's this one? Fire spells have 15% chance to ignite the target for 2 seconds. The next instance of fire damage that hits an ignited target, except burning ground, detonates, dealing 100% more damage and causing a living target to flee frames. Okay, so this is great. If these different sources of fire damage will proc from the different cleric spells that I'm casting, you know, either passively, automatically, or manually, then this is going to synergize really, really well. And I can't wait to see that in action. Yeah, so just a few perks away from really awakening this build a little bit and, start to kind of chain linking active effects in pure, like, more synergistic ways to make this more like a spectacle build, I think would be great. Just need more perks. Hey, James is back. All right, restoration. Let's see. Restoration mastery, of course, goes without saying. Descending light. Rapidly regenerate points of magicka when you enter battle. So this is really important because we spend magicka like it's going out of style, right? Like, like we can't take it with us when we die, so we may as well spend it all, right? So yeah, having something like this that gives us more magicka when we enter combat is great because I am constantly casting these restoration spells during combat. Aura of Might, which buffs up my teammates around me, 71% more attack damage, and then release for a big chunk of fire and sun damage on all enemies around me. And then Aura of Vigor, which constantly heals allies, and then release for invulnerability. So I'm constantly shifting between these two things in combat for the different damaging and healing effects on both of those. So whatever I can do to reduce the cost of those and regenerate my magicka as I go is great. I also took Spirit Tutors here. Each one of these is going to give us a decent buff of restoration magnitude. So the magnitude of these spells, the restoration spells that I cast, are going to be buffed 1% per 20 points of magicka. And since I have a little over 200 points of magicka right now, that's going to be buffed by 10%, I think. So yeah, but I have to find these Spirit Tutors in order to get these blessings. And then if I get the 2% stronger, that'll be a 40% buff, which would be huge. So I'm going to be doing very little fast traveling with this character today and going forward until I can find these Spirit Tutors. And fast traveling includes carriage rides, which I've been using for safe, quick transit. No more, because these Spirit Tutors could be anywhere in the world, and they show up as random events on the road more often than not. So I'm really looking to proc these random events to get these guys. Next up is probably going to be Hallowed Burial. Attacks and restoration spells and effects are 20% more powerful against undead enemies, so the cleric, being kind of a bit of a witch hunter, will be making a lot of use of that. Smithing is lagging behind other skills, but I really don't want to train smithing because smithing progresses so quickly on its own just by making like leather gauntlets and iron daggers. So I'm just going to be doing that. Besides, I do have a new set that I want to make that is available now with the steel smithing perk. I just need a ton of ebony ingots in order to build it. I think it's the Griffin Knight armor that looks really nice that I'm wanting to use. But I just got to gather up a lot of ebony ingots. So one of these days, I'm going to look up on UESP where to find ebony, an ebony mine, and I'll mine that thing up and maybe get halfway to my armor set with that. Yeah, Kittytail has a lot of different packs that they use, and I don't know what's in any of them really. I've never used them. All right, what else are we looking at here? So smithing, heavy armor, we've been speccing into pretty good. Pretty much anything that helps our armor cap. But there's some stuff over here, especially with Rallying Standard, that I used heavily with my warrior build, that will actually buff up my allies that are wearing heavy armor as well. So we have the Spirit Guardian and Lucian both have all heavy armor, so they will be affected by Rallying Standard. So I do want to get Rallying Standard and maybe Warbringer, and maybe even Doombringer, which also improves destruction spells, which both I and Lucian can take advantage of. Wearing all heavy armor takes 75% less damage from attacks below 15% health. And I hope I'm not ever in that state where I'm below 15% health, because on legendary difficulty and beyond with Wildcat tweaking, 15%. You're probably not ever going to be spending any time at 15%, but the next hit, you're probably seconds away from dying. So not going to spend a lot of time there. Probably not worth taking for me. And then one-handed, we have some stuff. Ferocious Strength and Disciplined Fighter, both of which either buff up the power attack or reduces the stamina cost of them. Either way, we do make use of power attacks, which I kind of combo with those restoration spells, and I'll show you that in a second. So being able to reduce costs on power attacks or buff them up is a big deal. I also want to go into the mace subtree here because there's some very good buffs against undead here as well. So if we're leaning into the anti-undead cleric stuff, then we kind of want to take maces because of the perks that we get with them. So we reduce armor points of enemies for 15 seconds with just regular attacks here, which is great because we're constantly peppering the enemy with regular attacks while we're holding on to these restoration spells. And then Smite, this is the big one I want to get, which synergizes well with these power attacks again. Whenever you deliver a power attack with a mace, you get critical strike that deals 3 times critical damage or 4 times the critical damage against undead. And there's a 30-second cooldown on that. But what happens here when I use the power attack, if I have, let me make sure I got my hotkeys set up correctly here. That one would be aid. This one is exile, not what I wanted. This one is Aura of Might. This is the one that I'm using. So pretend that we're in a battle here. I am holding on to this spell, which is Aura of Might, which is giving me my allies here a huge attack damage percentage. And then when I do a power attack on the enemy, it releases that spell. And when I release that spell, it is giving, it's doing 35 damage sun and fire damage to any enemies in the area. So when I do that power attack, that enemy is getting hit by the power attack. It's also getting hit by Holy Fire here, which is an enchantment that I put on my mace at the beginning of each battle with Okado's Recital, which gives it fire and sun damage on the mace itself. And hopefully this scales higher because 16 fire and sun damage is not that high. But anyway, that procs that with the power attack. It releases the effect, the fire and sun damage effect, area of effect. And it also resets so that I can maybe move over to, the aura of, what is that called? The healing aura one. And then when I do my power attack again, it makes me and all my dudes invulnerable. And then I can switch back to the Aura of Might again and rinse and repeat until everybody's dead. Alright, so that's kind of just a general rundown of how the gameplay is going to work, how the build is working so far. So I have power attacks synergizing with, you know, the different kind of active effects that I have going on with my active spell casting in the left hand. Yeah, so not really too deep. I'm only level 25 now. There's still a lot to learn, a lot to flesh out here, but I think we got a pretty good start, a pretty good proof of concept, I guess. You only left side one-handed to make a strong enough build. I feel you don't really need the class-specific weapons. You don't, but you can say that for a lot of the different spell trees. There are a lot of specific synergies that you can get, and then like for your specific build or character concept, there's a lot of stuff in there that can synergize really well with other things that you weren't thinking of. But yeah, I mean, you really don't need anything other than the basics. The warrior build is not really taking any of the weapon-specific subtrees in one-handed or two-handed. It's just kind of taking the general stuff with the power attacks and everything. But since the undead damage is such a big deal for this guy, I think wielding the maces is the best. And it kind of just, he looks like a mace guy, right? The cleric does, doing some smiting. I feel bad for the undead at this point. Absolutely, yep. We're calling this guy a cleric, but he also counts as a paladin, I feel. So smite is appropriate. Yeah. And I mean, To be honest, I really don't know the difference between a cleric and a paladin. I feel like paladin is more warrior than priest, and cleric might be more priest than warrior, but they both have a little bit of both, I would say. I actually toyed with the idea of making this guy unarmored, which would be more of a support thing, but with how close I have to be to my my melee allies, I wanted some protection there. And I don't have access to alteration with the Triumvirate Cleric, so I didn't feel like, you know, having ebony flesh was would fit too well with the build. D&D doesn't even know the difference. They're the same guy. Okay. That's kind of what I felt with the direction that Anai was taking. Because Anai Sion, the author of this Triumvirate mod, he modeled all these archetypes off of Dungeons & Dragons, right? There is a Shadow Mage in Dungeons & Dragons. There's a Druid. There's the Cleric. There's the Warlock. They're all, it's kind of a one-for-one thing. But just looking at the spells and how this was meant to be used, I think from his design, it was very much paladin, right? That's kind of the impression I got. Oh yeah, the mace specialization is pretty powerful. There's a lot of armor penetration and CC perks. Yes, indeed. And I thought just being like more of a support class, the mace kind of worked really well alongside other melee fighters because of the armor reduction and the crowd control, as you said. What else? Story-wise, yeah, we're still doing the vigilant stuff, but we're kind of at a crossroads right now where I was killed and Shadows of Skyrim respawned me up on the surface. So we're taking the opportunity, I'm heeding the better judgment of people who have played this mod, saying that there's a point of no return coming up very soon, and that I'm going to need to be a higher level in order to take it on correctly. I'm heeding their warnings. I'm going to level up. I'm going to try to get to level 50, and then we'll go back down there, assuming I feel strong enough at that point. So what are we doing now? We are biding our time, and while we do that, of course, we're going to be training. So the main goal is to get leveled up so we can go back down and take on those vampires down under Windhelm for the Vigilant mod. And we're going to be doing some side quests and different things in the meantime in order to accomplish that, because we do need money in order to buy training, and we also need practical experience to help with that training as well. So we did read about this for Forbidden Legend here, the Galder amulet. We're going to go piece that together, because once we do get that, we are a very, very hybrid build. Once again, this cleric, Triumvirate Cleric, is very hybrid. Lots of warrior, lots of mage, not much rogue, but we still are going to need healthy amounts of stamina, magicka, and health to support this build. So yeah, we're going to go to the next point in this side quest, which is Fulganther over in the swamps of Morthal over here. But we're going to stick to the roads, and we're going to move on foot just in case that there's a random encounter with one of those spirit tutors for that perk that I took in order to strengthen up our restoration. So let's get a move on, shall we? Let me catch up here. Cleric acts more as a support class, as you said, like a priest, while the Paladin is a frontliner tank supplemented by divine magic. Yeah, so a lot of overlap. One's just more warrior, one's more priest. Warlock is just an edgy cleric. Both get their powers from Cosmic Sugar Daddy. Ooh, nice. Yeah, Warlock is, I'm going to be playing that one alongside the Sacrosanct Vampire once I can get some of these other Guardians builds out the door. I almost said Mr. T, like Mr. T, but I meant Mist AT. Oh, we got okay, Snow Leopard. So this is the consecrated ground. This is going to be doing holy damage and fire damage to the Snowy Sabercat, but because the Snowy Sabercat's not undead, the holy damage isn't really going to do much, so it's pretty much just doing the fire damage to him. Wow, he's coming right at me here, isn't he? Okay, so Aura of Might coming up. Buff up all my followers. I did go and get Miko. I think nobody suggested to go get Miko as another follower, because in the vanilla game, dogs don't count as followers against your limits. I missed with the power attack there. Man, these cats are very fast. But yeah, you can see the power attack released my spell, and it started doing the fire damage to the Snowy Saber cat. Even though I missed the power attack, that burst of fire damage did quite a lot of damage on the cat for sure. We can use those. Oh, is this the monk? Kadojo. This guy's a pretty cool follower. He is a traveling monk, Khajiit monk. He's added by interesting NPCs, and he has like all of these kung fu adages and stuff that he tells you as you're traveling with him. Pretty cool. One of my favorite followers from that mod for sure. Sugar Daddy D's nuts. Kadojo. Alright, who's next here? Oh, yeah, Ice Wraith over there. Should be weak to our fire damage over here. Yeah, get in there, Pilgrim. Pilgrim. I'm really hesitant to power attack this thing because of that Pilgrim there. I feel like, yeah. That Ice Wraith is just gonna fly away at the last second. I'm gonna whack that Pilgrim in the face, and then all of a sudden the guards are gonna come chasing after me. Plus, it's really hard to see the damn Ice Wraiths with the E and B and the reshade and all the white snow on here. It is pretty realistic when you get into a sunny area with lots of snowfall. It is fairly blinding, I would say. Just in case anybody needs any healing here, let's get us all healed up. There you go. Alright, we got more wolves. No, Ice Rays are just considered horrible. Yes, indeed. Generally horrible. Oh, the old orc doesn't need any help, but, you know, frost or ice wolves are much stronger.
Oh well, must have run off.
Definitely need the pelts to level smithing, so we'll be taking a lot of those. So if we're role-playing here, I don't think the cleric is going to be too belligerent toward this guy.
Good death.
Why is it you wish to die, child?
My time has come. I am old. Too old to become chief. It would be wrong for me to take wives at this age.
He doesn't look old at all.
Malakath has given me a
He looks
vision
like
of a
he's like
glorious
mid-30s
death.
tops.
I am to wait here until it finds me.
I loathe
As you
accidentally
can
hitting
see,
an NPC
it
where you're
is
trying to
not
fight.
yet
Yes.
arrived.
Are Ice Rays considered undead? No, I don't think so. I think they're just considered creatures. I saved this peddler the other day from the bandit, and he said, "Shoo, I thought thought I was a goner for sure." Oh yeah, I've seen that one before. Offered his inventory to buy and sell. Yep. Old orc with his midlife crisis hairdo. Yeah, right. Absolutely. You don't look that old to me. Certainly you're a strong and capable warrior.
Indeed. One should find his death.
I gotta change the filter out on my
proper man.
water pitcher
We
here.
Orcmen are not like these Nords and Imperials who carry on until they are gray and feeble and their hair
The only thing worse would be a
falls
man
out.
bun, am I
To
right?
cling to something past its usefulness is unseemly. How much more so when that thing is you?
Well, seems there's no talking you out of this.
You should leave. I don't want you scaring off my good death.
Of course not. All right. Well, can't save everybody. Especially if they don't want to be saved, I guess. What's considered old for an orc? I don't know. I think they have a shorter lifespan than men do than humans. But not by much. I don't think it's a huge amount. Which is really weird considering their elven heritage, right? 60 to 70 years? Yeah, that sounds about right from what I've seen on UESP. I just, you know, don't remember everything I read on that site. It can be a little dry. I need to use my mental capacity for other things in life, unfortunately. Ooh, something's going on over there. Okay, that is a Daedra. Daedric entity, anyway. Yep, wrong one. Here we go. I think I still have my healing spell on, which is just as well, I think. Oh, watch out, guys. They go boom. That's a spicy meatball. Oh, no, I did have my Aura of Might. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of the Cleric. He's my youngest character right now, and really my first maiden voyage with this spell set. So it's going to take me a little bit to get used to everything. I think it's the weapon transitions, the spell transitions aren't going to be as smooth as they are for something like the Warrior. So you'll have to bear with me a little bit. But I'll get better at it. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep accidentally unequipping my mace. Ooh, we got Ice Wolf. Just one? Oh, we got a couple of wolves here. Guess your mom's all clear now. I don't know. I'm in a mood today. They're an abomination of elves. Well, that's how the story goes. If you talk to, who is it? Boethia? Boethia is happy to perpetuate that myth, right? That they ate Trinimac and pooped it out, and it became Malakath. But I remember reading something about there's an encounter that you have with Trinimac in maybe like ESO, I think. Oh, that assassin keeps healing. Yeah, those assassins are tough. I think that there was... I read about an encounter in ESO that you have with Trinimac. And Trinimac says that there is a lot of truth to that myth, but people take it way too literally. So I guess at some point, I think what you can take from that is that Boethia defeated Trinimac or something, and then with what was left of Trinimac's, essence, was kind of perverted and corrupted and turned into Malakath. But I'm also not sure that that's how orcs were created. That's kind of what... I don't know if it's part of the monomyth that says that. But there are also mentions of orcs in the book Topal the Pirate. Pilot. Topal the Pilot, that mentions orcs way before the incident between Boethia and Trinimac were supposed to happen. So there are conflicting pieces of information in the lore. I don't know what you should take from that. It might have just been a missed retcon by Bethesda. If I had to guess, I would say that the Trinimac Boethia thing is probably canon. And then they just kind of missed the Topal stuff. But it's also reasonable to think that the orcs that Topal encountered in his journeys and documented were, they might have been a completely different species than the corrupted elves. Alright, well let's take on these undead, shall we? Guys, get in there. I can't tank this stuff. I'm the healer. If I were a paladin, I'd be happy to do it, but I am not. So get in there. Yeah, there you go. Oh, now we got high-level mages. Hate the high-level mages. Almost out of magicka. Do I have any potions here? Yeah, I got a few. Oh, he's so slow when he's casting. Oh, Master Conjurer? Really? Ooh, I suppose I could use Exile. Let's try that. Too powerful. Alright. Ugh, taking arrow fire. Oh god, those fire bolts keep whizzing by my head. Okay, more magicka. Go ahead and do some fire resistance and cold resistance here. Out of magicka. Didn't I just take that? Keep moving so those archers don't get a bead on me here. Sorry, Lucian. Whew. Okay. Let's keep it moving. We got more to do. More heavy armor. Take the light stuff. Guys, don't just stand there. You got archers firing stuff at you. God, it's so hard to find good help these days. Oh, yeah. I do have... Oh, that's aid. They do have a ward that I can use here. I can tank mages if I have the ward. Let everybody else just do the physical damage on them. Necromage, another high level. Getting some one-handed training at least. Oh my god. KG mages. Hey, look, there's that pilgrim again. Is he going to help out again? One more skeleton left. Yeah, I was going to say they're going to make quick work of him. Didn't even have time to get the Aura of Might going on there. Bethesda NPCs can never handle sniping of any kind. Yeah, pretty much. I am playing with increased velocity and less of a drop-off on the arrow arcs, so they do a little bit better in my game than they do in the vanilla game, but every once in a while they'll hit you from a headshot from like way downtown if you're not moving enough or if you're not changing up your trajectories. They'll get you. See if there was anything over here. Okay. All right, let's go in, see if we can, you know, finish off the rest of the dark mages that are in here. Is that the Breton Knight armor from ESO? That Breton Knight is a badass in the trailer. He takes on all 3 heroes from ESO and kicks their asses. Yes, no, that's not the same one, but that was... I know what you're talking about. Those ESO trailers are so badass. I don't even like the game, but it's always like an event when those trailers come out. I know what you're talking about. He was in the full plate armor. He had that 2-handed sword that he was, you know, swinging around like a badass, and yeah, he like kicked all their asses. There is a Breton Knight from ESO, Breton Knight set, but it's not the actual Knight. It's the original like rogue Breton that you can get on the Nexus, and it's like it has the SMP physics and everything on it. It looks really cool. I think people just assumed it was the Breton Knight, even though he was more like a light armored rogue. At least that's what they entitled it anyway. Obviously not a knight. Gonna play the V6, but you're talking about Nulvis version 6? No, I'm not. No, not unless something catastrophic happens and I have to completely redo my my mod list. No, I'm not touching. I'm not changing my mods at all. I've heavily customized this. This is an old version of Nulvis from like 4 years ago at this point, if not even older. And I really don't want to have to do any more modding than I have to. I don't mind adding in armor sets and everything and adding compatibility patches for different weapon types and stuff like that, but when it comes to just completely wiping clean and trying something completely different, this version of Nulvis took about a week for me to install and get running on my own. So a week out of Skyrim, especially when you're a content creator, is a very long time. And I would much rather play Skyrim than mod Skyrim. Pure mage who becomes the leader of every orc stronghold. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, I'm talking about the one clad in heavy armor, not the rogue Breton. Yep. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. That was a cool ass fight scene. It was like on like the castle ramparts and stuff. It was one of the Breton expansion packs, I think. Where they focused on High Rock. I hope we get some High Rock in Elder Scrolls 6. I know it's like heavily hinting at Hammerfell and the Iliac Bay region, but I hope that there's a way to cross the Iliac Bay into High Rock, at least for like an expansion or something. I mean, High Rock is cool. The Redguards are some of my favorite as a race. Just their culture and everything is like really interesting with the Sword Singers, the Ansei, and all that's really cool. Their rebellious nature. How they're sticking the fight to the Thalmor for as long as they have, and then even left the Empire in order to do it, but they're like still fighting against them. That shows you how badass they are. So I love Redguards and Hammerfell, but I was born and raised in the desert, and I don't want more desert landscape in my video games. I can't deal with desert landscape anymore. It's just too much. I'm just getting the lockpick training here. Just that much faster to the next perk. Yes, High Rock, Hammerfell, and the Rothgarian Mountains, because there is kind of this symbiosis between those 3 races, right, in that area. There always has been. So I hope they really delve in and lean into that sort of menage a trois of chaos that they have going on there all the time. Man, it would be badass to like go through. I'm out of lockpicks. Shit. That's not good. We need more lockpicks. Definitely take the Magicka potions. Tomatoes, potatoes. All good for vegetable soup. Okay, we gotta go upstairs now. No desert, so New Vegas won't show up a lot on this channel. No, I didn't like... Okay, New Vegas was probably my least favorite BGS adjacent game precisely because of that. So that was all desert landscape, and there was no sprint button in that game. So it's like you're basically just walking everywhere until you can find a fast travel location. The traversal speed was so slow in that game, and all I saw was desert landscape everywhere. It was a grind, man. I know people love that game and they have good reasons for it, but yeah, that I don't want to ever do that again. No thanks. Veggie soups are like cheating in this game. Infinite power attacks and shield clapping, indeed. It's good stuff. Although it's less powerful with Wildcat, because Wildcat scales damage based on stamina levels. At least it has a setting for it, and I think it does that right out of the box. So if you're running Wildcat, I think even on Xbox, and you're trying to attack at low stamina levels, you're nerfing your damage output. It's meant to force you to manage your stamina a little bit more carefully and kind of draw out these fights a little bit more. Or just outright kill an enemy as fast as possible so you don't waste as much stamina on them. So vegetable soup does help, but it's not just like the end-all be-all of, okay, I have 1 stamina so I can do a power attack and that's all I need stamina for, right? It does have a little more effect in Wildcat. I think sometimes the steel dagger is enchanted. Maybe I'm too low level, or maybe I'm just mistaken. Anyway, that should be a clear. Is your cleric in favor of the Mages College or against it? I think he's fairly neutral at this point. There is some conjuration stuff that he doesn't like, but he has talked to Finis, and it's not like full-out necromancy central over there. They're more taking it on as like an academic curiosity, more so than doing any kind of Daedra worshipping or necromancy, like full on, right? So he's a little bit more okay with that than he would be just, you know, these rogue necromancer dungeons and stuff. He doesn't like it. Absolutely he doesn't like it, but he needs the college more than the college needs him right now in terms of like all the trainers and everything. In order to make him more powerful, that's kind of a lesser evil. He can then take their knowledge and use it against the Daedra and against the undead. And maybe things will change when he's, if and when he's Archmage. If I decide to go. It's an interesting, what is that flying around up there? It's weird. Maybe it was just a snowflake that had a weird texture on it or bouncing off the light in a weird way? I don't know. Yeah, maybe that changes if and when he becomes Archmage. He'll make some policy changes, or at least put some more protections in place. This is one of the either the seducers or saints encampments. Oh, okay. Kicked off the quest, but they're not hostile to me yet. All right. They're gonna leave us be, we'll leave them be. They're not undead, they're not Daedra. Although they do have the stench of a certain crazy mad god there, but we have other things on the agenda right now. And they might be a little above our pay grade at this point because a lot of the stuff that was added in through the creations for the anniversary edition is unleveled, so they don't scale with your level, they're just the level that they're at. So at lower levels, they are very, very hard to beat. And they level off a little bit when you get to higher levels. So we'll wait until we're higher level to take on the Saints and Seducers back. Another Ice Wraith. Okay, I'll let you guys handle that. I'll buff you up, though. God, I can barely see him with the Consecrated Ground effect and the snow. And the translucence of the Ice Wraith. He's very hard to see. And he moves fast. There we go. Got him on that one, though. Oh, thank you, Wind. That's very nice of you. Oh, by the way, I do have a Discord. So anybody who missed last week, I do have a Discord that's been opened up. I'll go ahead and I don't know if I have it in the description. I'll go ahead and post an invitation for you all here, though. I am in streamer mode, so I cannot... Let's do this. There you go. Come do some chit-chat if you want to do some chit-chat. Talk about like other games and stuff in there, but mostly it's Skyrim-centric. Talk about what you're playing, what you're watching. Working on a map. Okay. That sounds interesting. Color me intrigued. Got to see a guy about a map. Couldn't get into New Vegas either. Yeah, it's it had some interesting things. So BGS took like the faction stuff from Fallout New Vegas because they handled factions really well, and then they did the same thing with Fallout 4 and Skyrim. A little bit more of a reduced level for Skyrim because you had like 2 main factions. In Fallout 4, at least you have I think 3 or 4 main factions. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas handled the faction stuff really well. It's just the gameplay and exploration that didn't hold up for me. Damn it, this ice wolf is on my ass. Man, he was taking a chunk. 4 hits, I would have been dead. Been working on a hyper-realism setting. The problem is how to explain magic with science. But that's where the fun comes in, I think. Speaking of magic and science, I don't know if you're watching Arcane or if you watched Arcane at all on Netflix, but they delve into that very, very theme. The whole catalyst for everything that happens in there is a weird bastardization of magic and science and how it got out of control. Very cool stuff. I'm enjoying it. Not my favorite series ever. I'm not as crazy about it as a lot of people have been. I'm not fanboying it, but it is good. And you probably already have Netflix, so... it is told from the League of Legends world, but I've never played League of Legends before, and I'm getting everything I need to out of the world building from the series itself. It does make me curious about the game, but it is very much a self-contained entity. The series is. You don't need to play the game to get the gist of it or anything. What time is it? 1:51 p.m. Let's stop at the inn here. We'll get some soup maybe. Something to warm up the bones a little bit. Now we gotta go this way. Maybe we can sell off some of our loot at the smith over here. Lighten the load just a bit. Oh, there's an alchemist over here too. I forgot about the alchemist. May as well stop in. See what they have. Ice wolves are so strong. So are mud crabs in the higher difficulty settings. They do so much damage. They do. Mud crabs are like the silent killer because they're so small.
Yes.
And they bury themselves, so they can definitely ambush you if you're not paying attention. I was doing permadeath
so
on this channel before I started doing these build streams. And my very first character, very first stream, very first permadeath, I took one shot from a mud crab, and it took me 1 pixel of health, down to 1 pixel of health. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But I made it through. The character didn't last too much longer. I got killed by a bugged out follower that turned hostile on me. It was Gore, actually. Let's see. No elixirs. Enchanter's potion? Eh. Not really enchanting anything yet, and any enchantments that I do have are going to be really weak, and that 10% is going to do barely anything. Filter of Destruction, that's good. It's really expensive, but yeah, I'll take that. Resist magic, sure. Don't want to blow the entire wad right now, but these are some really powerful potions. Yeah, sure, I'll take the Canis root. Hanging Moss has a one-handed effect on it. I'll take that. Okay, I'm sure I have some stuff here that I can sell as well. Maybe not. I stopped at Berna's shop before I started the stream and sold off a bunch of stuff. I do need to favorite a lot of this stuff, though, so I have it handy. Haunting Brew Mead I'm keeping in case I find the Merry Revelers. I don't think I've already found them. We'll see. And I'm good in food and stuff. I can sell off the bones. I don't need that.
See you around.
Yeah. Pleasure doing business with you. Imagine if it took weeks to recover if you were at 1 hit point. That would be too much realism. Yeah, that would be too much realism. Too much for me, anyway. I'm sure there's players out there that would be totally into that. Maldaroth. What's Maldaroth? What am I saying? That's Macadamia. Macadamia, what's up, buddy? How are things in the apartment complex? Is it still dramatic?
The finest weapons and armor.
I hope that clears up for you soon, because that is such a pain. Sorry you're dealing with that, buddy. Don't need any of these arrows. I can make use of his facilities here, though, for sure. Living the dream, there you go. I need a tanning rack, here we go. Okay, let's split up some of these fine pelts here. Make a ton of leather. Little piece would be... Yeah, that's the thing, is like you really don't... You don't get the rest when everything's chaotic, right? So then... everything just kind of escalates as far as stress levels, and that's a negative feedback loop. Pretty bad. Okay, so I need 2 leather strips for every 1 leather so I can make some gauntlets. So I'm going to count along... please excuse me just shouting out numbers here. It's how I do things. So yeah, we got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52. Okay, we're getting close. 50, yeah, 56. We're there. All right, now we're gonna batch craft some green archer gloves here. So if you have the oh, what is it? It's the archer armor. I don't the archer. I don't know. It's the it's the archer armor. It's good stuff. I don't remember what the whole mod is called. But if you have this, the green archer gloves, they take 1 leather and 2 leather strips. The regular archer gloves they take 2 leather strips and 2 leather. So you have to use another leather strip on it. But this is if you have a ton of pelts, because you know you get beset by predators whenever you travel by foot on the roads. This seems to be the most effective way of leveling your smithing skill, because these are very valuable. You're going to have a ton of leather strips, and just pound these things out, and you're going to level up like nothing else. And our smithing skill is way behind, so we can use all of the progression that we can get here. Got one more. One more. We got 2 leather strips. And then you can make eye patches out of the leather strips. You just need a septum. Round those out. There we go. Excellent. So now I do have a level up that I can use tactically if and when needed. So if I'm about to die or I'm in dire need of some health or some magicka, then I can just do a leather up. We just did a leather up. We can do a level up. Completely refill all our attributes. Hey, I'm an Imperial. Not part of the Legion, but he is just an Imperial. Yeah, I was worried when I created this guy. I really wanted it, I haven't really had any representation of the Triumvirate Cleric on my channel, and I was really looking forward to doing a Triumvirate Cleric build, and the race that made the most sense for it was the Imperial. So, and as I was putting this guy together, he started to look more and more like Fortius, my warrior. And so now I have 2 very similar looking Imperials on the channel at the same time. I was kind of worried about that confusing people, but I think it has every once in a while. But it's like the stakes aren't high on this channel, right? What's the worst that's going to happen if somebody gets confused that I'm playing the warrior instead of the cleric? I don't think it's going to ruin anybody's weekend.
Ah, hello there, traveler. Come to
Let's do some math, yes indeed.
Food or lodging.
Grabbing a bottle of Hunting Brew mead is priority 1 for me every run because I'm a hoarder. Oh, because you're a hoarder? I grab it because of the Merry Revelers. They'll give you that enchanted ring that you can use to level up your enchanting skill. The carry weight enchantment levels you up real fast.
Tell your tavern wench to fetch
Let's
us some more
sate that appetite.
Hey, Hadrian, tell your dog to do his business outside.
Oh, is somebody fighting the cold? Are we talking about the UK guys? We tend to be pretty cold over there. Actually, I gotta resize my chat window. I'm not getting nearly enough of it over here. That's better. Yeah, I hope you stay warm, James. I don't mind the cold. That's probably because I grew up in the heat all the time, and I'm just sick of it. I'd rather be cold than hot at this point in my life. Let's see, is there anything hearty? Something that's going to stick to the ribs. The goat roast might. Some beef. Let's go with the roast. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get boozed up for the road.
Anything you need.
Thanks, Adrian.
Holler.
All right, we're going to take a quick little rest here. Get warmed up. I don't want one of these sparks to get on the cloak, so we'll take that off at the moment. Well sated. Very nice. All right, we'll take a break here. That's going to put us at 3:40, so we're getting into mid-late afternoon here, but I feel like we can make this stretch between here and at least Dawnstar fairly easily. We might have to make a stop at Dawnstar on the way, and who knows what hijinks await us in Dawnstar, except for all of us. Taking off, people. Take care. Okay, Silent. Yeah, have a good weekend yourself, buddy. Take care. I wake up confused every day.
Excuse me.
Well, it's not an uncommon ailment, I think. Okay, well, now Lucian's sneezing all over me. At least he's wearing a mask. Look at that. All right. Let's refill our water. We have some food for the road if we need it.
Or maybe
It might start
meat.
getting dark, but I think, like I said, we can make it
Of
to
course.
Dawnstar without too much issue. I've never tried to disenchant that necklace, really?
I like to think of philosophy.
Anything you need.
Yeah, that's like that's some enchanting meta for you. Get that haunting brew mead, find the merry revelers, disenchant their necklace, and then level that shit up. Goddamn alarm! Just woke up. What I missed? You missed. We picked up Miko, and Miko actually made us some balloon animals. He has an opposable digit. He also has a very high intellect for a dog, but also not bad for even humans. Lucian is now wielding a great sword. I don't remember where he got that, but when I asked him about it, he was being very coy and kind of winked at me, insinuating that he had it in his butt. But that can't be right, because look at the length and the girth. I mean, maybe. And then the Spirit Guardian, he gave me a knowing glance when Lucian said that, so I think maybe he helped either get it in there or to get it out, or both. So that's what you missed. A bunch of female vigilants got drunk and streaked through town. Yeah, that happened too. But the cleric, being a man of God, he did not allow himself to look, and I blacked out the screen to simulate the effect, so nobody got to see it. I'm kidding. Could you start your stream over from the beginning just for me, please? Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Were you napping? I guess it's later there than it is here. That's a late nap for you, though. All right. Leaving the night gate in. We don't need the light just yet. Let's plot our course. So we are hoofing it on the roads because we did take the Spirit Tutors perk, and we're looking for these Spirit Tutors out in the world. So no carriage travel, no fast travel until we find both of them. A lot of hoofing it. So we are trying to get to Morthal in order to get to Fulgunther to do the Galder Legend stuff. But I think I'm going to allow us to get sidetracked by the Vermina questline over here. As a cleric would be sidetracked by that kind of thing. He is very anti-Daedra. And if he can help, he will. Was out cold. That happens to me sometimes too. It's like, I'm not really much of a napper either. I try to save that shit for nighttime. Because if I do nap, it'll be like glorious, but then I won't be able to sleep at night and I'll screw myself up for like a week. I do enjoy a nap, it's just, I can't do it responsibly if I do it. If I do it, we got some bandits over here, but we're not gonna pass complete judgment on them yet. If they leave us alone, we'll leave them alone.
Oh, hang on, that's not comfortable. Stone in my shoe. Oh,
that's a lot of armor to have to take off too to get that shoe out of there. That iron plate armor. Looks badass, but it's got a lot of layers to it. Sleep will be screwed tonight now? Yeah. Well, that sucks. PSA, nap responsibly. Indeed. Same goes for masturbating too much, by the way. If you do it all the time, you won't be able to do it when it counts.
All the living shall fear.
Naps and masturbation. Go easy on that shit. Moderation's the key. Napsturbation. Oh, we talk about the best stuff on these streams. I swear.
Snow.
Where the hell did that spider go?
Snowy.
I want the venom. It went through the terrain, but usually it falls back down somewhere in the vicinity. All right, another spider.
You are not welcome here.
That's not true, Karn. Well, it is for some people. Some of us are just built different. What's the shoe? What is Shoe of the Stone? Oh, Lucian just made a comment about how he got a stone in his shoe. It's just banter by the NPC. Even put the alarm and it went off. I just didn't hear it with the phone right by my ear. Oh, man. Well, that's probably your body telling you that you needed the sleep, I guess. I mean, yeah, like I said, that happens to me sometimes too. I don't nap often, but sometimes it's just, it gets the better of me. My body says, F that noise, you need to sleep right now. Yeah, that's what Macadamia said. Okay, so we have Fort Dunstad up here. And the clientele, the current residents seem a little rough around the edges, so we're going to give them a little bit of a wide berth. We're not a vigilante, we're a cleric. We're not going to assume that they're bad people, but we're also not going to overstay our welcome. We're more attuned for battling undead. Oh, did I just trigger them? I did. Alright, well, now you made it personal. Oh, that barely hurt at all.
Rather exciting.
Knock their head off with a mace. That's a special skill right there. Really? Oh, Highwayman, this guy is a little rougher. Yeah, boy. Ouch. Where is my spirit guardian? Do I have their... No, they're still around. I don't have their armor on me. Shit. Oh, that really hurt. Alright, run away. Run away. Here we go, trying to avoid these guys. See how far they're gonna chase us. Oh, out of stamina. I need that respite perk. Ouch! Oh my god, that hurts so bad. I had a level up to use. Didn't make it. Shit. Is this gonna put me all the way back to Winterhold now? Because that was the last place I slept? God damn it. I'm just fucking fast traveling at this point. Screw that. I have no idea why some people choose to disable mace beheadings. It's kind of goofy, right? But just because you choose to run a mace, I don't think should preclude you from the benefits of the beheadings. Mostly just chuckling when it happens. But also, if you're kind of like a witcher or a cleric, a witch hunter or a cleric, it makes a certain amount of sense fighting necromancers to behead your enemies so they can't reanimate them. Always assume bad intentions, yeah. Regold Bear Collar, I thank you for this lesson in defeat. I shall not make the same mistake twice. Debuff inflicted. Fear of man. Oh no, that doesn't sound great. All the way back to the damn college. Alright, well now I'm pissed. Okay, the Spirit Guardian definitely disappeared. What time is it? 6:48 p.m. What kind of statuses do I have? The Stench of Death. The Fear of Man. Your attacks are less effective against the races of men. Imperials, Red Guards, Nords. Stench of Death. Your wounds reek of death, drawing out Skeever's Eager. Okay, so now I have 2 debuffs on me. This one's from the one from the Vigilant questline. The other one's from Fort Dunstad. Yeah. So both deaths were caused because I lost track of my spirit guardian. If that thing were around both times, I think I would have survived. I don't know where that one went at Fort Dunstad. It was still around because I did not have its armor in my inventory. So I don't know. It must have gotten either caught up on terrain or it took a path through the middle of the fort. More likely that's what happened. But either way, not cool, bro.
Stupid dog.
All right, I'm going to fast travel back to Nightgate Inn. Because I don't really want to go... Well, you know what? That's fine. Let's just do this right. We'll raid around for a couple hours. We'll sleep here until 5 a.m. Then we'll do our prayer routine. And then we'll hit the road again. We won't have to fight our way through Fort Castav anymore. And then we're not going to have to deal with the Ice Wolves and the Snowy Saber Cat. So we should be able to make a pretty good beeline all the way. And then we should also be reprocking these random world events. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 hours. So we might get spirit tutors. But the immersion being broken again? Yeah, no, we're... I'm not going to break it. I'm going to hoof it again.
Excuse me,
I'm going to play this right.
Might I have a moment?
Going to do it right. Have not prayed in a while, I know. We'll pray outside. We'll pray outside in the dawn sunlight. In the dawn's early light.
You could possibly procure a few select items for me?
In fact, it's more likely to get beheaded via a blunt object than a sharp object? Is that true? That doesn't seem true. Are you blowing smoke up my ass, James? You pulling my chain? Stick with Akatosh.
Winterhold must have been beautiful back in its day.
I am praying,
I wish I'd been
Lucian.
around to see it.
Gotta pray for our 3 hours every morning. We are pious indeed. Let's see here. Oh, I haven't eaten the pogfish yet. We eat some of that, some of the bread. Take a drink. How are we doing on needs? Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, now we need our spirit guardian. Get him to take his shit back. Or her shit back in this case. Isn't there a Popeye song about going swimming with bald-headed women? He's Popeye the Sailor Man. He lives in a garbage can. He likes to go swimming with bald-headed women. He's Popeye the Sailor Man. I don't know where that even came from. I heard it from my mom when I was a kid. Just kind of stuck. Man, people were bored back in the day, huh? Alright, she's all kitted out. Good. No, I've read a lot of medieval history. In fact, there's been a lot of stories of that happening. Sometimes it's a method. If they don't want you to know the person, they will love... They'll just leave the head in pieces. Jesus. That's brutal. But the head doesn't stay intact in that case, right? I mean, technically, yeah, it's a beheading. Sharp weapon used for scare tactics, I see. Well, you definitely do more damage with a blunt weapon, that's for sure. And it's also more effective against heavy armor, too, because it dents the armor in, and then that armor can cut into the wielder's flesh. Swords were more likely than not to be blunt weapons back in the day. I recall that bit from 10,000 sword making videos I've watched before bed. Interesting. So more like a metal rod or club then. I guess having like a narrow metal weapon like that would be quite efficient at denting armor. What should I have for dinner tonight, guys? The world is my oyster. I went to a sandwich place after I dropped my wife off at the airport. I ran some errands that I've been putting off for a while. I got a haircut, got my car washed, stopped and had some lunch. Stopped at a sandwich shop that I hadn't had before. They toast all their sandwiches. It's called Chiba Hut. I got a club sandwich with some bacon, ham, turkey, melted cheese. They had some kind of salad dressing on there. Spice it up a little bit. Ordered it with no pickles. Forgot to order no onions. So I had to pick those off like a child. The raw onions, they don't agree with my belly. Dented armor equals broken bones. Terrible way to die on the battlefield. Hell yeah, it is. I think the one drawback of the blunt weapons in Skyrim is just the slow attack speed, right? So much of your damage output comes from tempering your weapons and then the enchantments on that weapon, so I think the de facto meta for most weapons as best in slot are going to be swords and daggers. And then if you want like blunt weapons, that's usually just more of a flavor, like character concept type thing. Just to differentiate them from every other character. But that weapon speed, coupled with tempering or smithing up your weapons and the enchantments that's on them, becomes king in that case. This is what I found with my warrior build anyway. Okay, can we get some random encounters out here? That would be nice. Am I barefoot? Why am I barefoot? Did they take my... They took my boots. Alright.
Good morning, Castian.
Those goddamn bandits are going down now. I'm on a revenge mission. Give me your boots. My spirit guardian can go barefoot. It is just a spirit. Took my damn boots. So why does this guy worship any particular divine? Does he follow the 8, the 9? I think he believes in the 9. Let me see. He's a follower of Saint Alessia, and Talos is included in the Saint Alessia stuff. So he has studied Saint Alessia. He has idolized Saint Alessia since he was a child. And then when the whole white gold concordat stuff hit, he considered that an affront to his religion when, you know, the governing body dictated down to the different churches and everything that, you know, Talos was to be excluded from worship from in any official capacity. He did not like that. He also doesn't agree with what the Stormcloaks are doing. He thinks their aggression is misplaced. It's 100% the Thalmor's fault, because he wasn't in the Legion ever, but he did believe in what the Empire was doing and that it was a good thing for the people of Tamriel, and that the elves, not the elves, but the Thalmor particularly, he's not racist like that. That the Thalmor came in and kind of ruined it for them all. So he doesn't really have any skin in the game as far as the war goes. He sees the pluses and minuses of both sides winning, either or, but right now he's just kind of struck out as an individual trying to spread the word of Saint Alessia and the 9 divines, not the 8 divines, and just helping out however he can. He spreads. Oh, look at it! It's the. Do I still have my Haunting Brew mead, or is it? Or did they steal it? Nope. Here we go.
What do you
So he's kind of like a cleric Ronin going out right now individually, and he feels like the best way to spread the word of Saint Alessia is just to help people out. Wow, it's really dark in here, huh? Sun's going down as we speak. Wow, now it's really yellow in here. God damn it. All right, that's a little better, I suppose. So yeah, he thinks actions speak louder than words, and he is trying to spread his faith through deeds other than sermon.
All right.
Hail, friend. It's good to see another merry soul enjoying this fine day.
So he worships all the divines sort of equally. Right now we're doing Akatosh because it gives us a buff to progression in all of our skills, and that's kind of our main goal right now is to get stronger so that we can go clear out the Windhelm Undercity for the Vigilant questline. Why have one bottle when you can have two?
Beard, you're one after my own heart. I would love another bottle.
This one thinks this one thing annoyed me in this game. In fact, there wasn't much of a difference within the speed of a weapon is usually decided between one-handed use and two-handed use, but they can coincide. They can. I actually saw a YouTube video of somebody wielding like a big greatsword, a two-handed sword. Oh yeah, and then we got our enchanted necklace here. Charmed necklace. We can disenchant this and use that to level up our enchanting. Good stuff. Some metagaming there for you if you didn't know to do that. So whenever you find Haunting Brew mead, grab it, trade it in for that necklace, disenchant the necklace, and use that enchantment to level up your enchanting skill. Oh, let's see. There really should be more Imperials and Bretons supporting the Stormcloaks, even if they are jerks. I would think so too, right? Actually, you don't have anybody but Imperials on the Imperial side, which you would think that there would be all kinds of different races there. Bretons. There are Nords and there are Imperials, but there are very few Nords, mostly Imperials. But you would think that they would also have conscripted Khajiit and Wood Elves because they support the Thalmor. You would think that there would be a few, at least, of those. Not many, but a few. Red Guards, maybe even some of those because they used to be part of the Empire before they fractured off, but you would think that at least some of them would decide to stay, right? But yeah, you would think there would be some Imperials, likely some Red Guards. It's over there. Oh shit, I gotta set up my hotkeys again. That would, Red Guards would probably side with the Empire, or not the Empire, the Stormcloaks, you would think. Probably some Dark Elves even though, you know, people make a big deal about how the Grey Quarter is supposedly treated. Ulfric did allow those refugees into the city, and I think a few of them at least would feel obligated to help out with the war in that case. Oops.
I'll mount your head on my wall.
What are you on about here? Let's get our aura of... Oh, vampire. Yep, she's got to go down. Okay, new heavy armor that I can put on the Guardian Spirit if I need to. Oh, my phone buzzed. I just gotta see if my wife landed. She did.
fastest cake in the... Oh. It's gone! Get it? Because it's gone? Oh, I cracked myself up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the warrior has, or not the warrior, the cleric has any sort of particular sense of humor. Probably thought that was pretty dumb. I mean, he got the joke. Just doesn't think it's funny. He's a very serious man. Does not really allow himself to have fun, I would say. Paras, hello, how are you? Coming in a little late. Yes, no problem. It's probably very late for you. Where about in the world are you, Paras? Later for me, yeah, I had to drop my wife off at the airport and then run a few errands that I've been putting off, so I had to start a few hours late for me. Maryland, okay. So yeah, I think you're 2 hours away from me at this point. So not super late for you. Not super late. There really should be more Imperials and Bretons. Interesting. I swear I recall seeing something about knight armor denting, breaking bones, and there not being a way to mend on the battlefield. Well, that makes sense. The more plate armor with padding... Okay. Ice wolves all over the goddamn place. Can you guys please take aggression off of me? Oh my god! This one ice wolf just does not give a shit about anybody else. Just wants to murder me. Well, I spent that whole fight just running away. I guess that's one way of tanking. Just running away screaming while everybody else just does damage, while for some reason that one wolf just wanted to kill you and didn't care about anybody else. Gotta love BGS games. Usually fixed after battle by the blacks. Yeah, they don't really repair them on the spot there. We're here for the stream, not for the sleep. Sleep is for the weak. Don't listen to Isran. You guys need your sleep. Plus, at some point, my sweet dulcet tones are gonna put you to sleep, regardless of whether or not you want to. You are getting sleepy. Very sleepy. Oh, there's that spider that we lost track of. Clipped through the terrain and then disappeared. It's back. Drop off some of those bones while we're here. We don't need those. So yeah, I gotta figure out what to eat for dinner. Oh, I have a factor meal in the fridge I'll just use. It's one of the better ones though. It's a filet mignon. I have to heat up. Ooh, I love a steak. Gonna have some steak tonight. Already getting hungry. I'm sure the cleric brought Lucian for his comedic side, yeah. I like to do that with these more serious characters, though. Have, like, a follower that's a little bit more off the wall or a loose cannon, like Lucian or Inigo, that brings some humor to it. It's just a nice clash of styles, I think. Having a serious character with a... So you have your, like, your clown, you got your straight man, right? That's usually how the... comedy duos work. Pretty much everything. Okay, we got two bears out here now. Where the hell is that guy going? Really? You coming right at me? We gonna do this? What the hell is going on here? That is bizarre. Have you guys ever seen this before? What in the hell? What? Let me try a hard save here. Yeah, alright. Save worked, so I'm not in a weird state over here. Man, streaming a heavily modded Skyrim game is quite the adventure. Okay, let's try to be more tactical about this. We really do need revenge. I don't want to... I don't want to die again and take on a third debuff. And then Nemesis is going to be buffed up. So I think part of the reason that we died there is because we gave the archers the height advantage. We weren't able to get out of their way very fast. The wall that we were on had kind of an outlet so that the higher level enemies could trickle down. So I think if we create a choke point here where I can keep track of all of my followers. Oh, we got some Z fighting there. That's not great. Would Alessia preach revenge? I don't know. Alessia was pretty damn badass. She might. Alessia wasn't all sunshine and roses. Oh, there's those bears that are helping us out. And we got a lot of wonkiness going on here. Here we go. We have Lucian. I hear the Spirit Guardian, but I don't see her. Oh, she went storming through. There she is. Let's try to find somewhere where we're covered from random arrow fire. Okay, switch back to Aura of Might. Now that we're all healed up. Yeah, this fight goes much better when we have the Spirit Guardian backing us up. Or at least tanking for us. Alright, can't also forget about the level up that we have. Ready to go. Get in there, Lucian. Batter him with that sword. Club him. Yeah. There goes the head again. Like playing T-ball. Alright, back to the aura of healing. It's like these bears soften them up. This guy looks tough. He's wearing higher level armor. Totally missed that. I'm running low on magicka. Woo! Okay, there we go. Revenge! I mean, Alessia, there was some component of her leading the humans against the elves that she had to be getting revenge on some of that, right? She definitely wasn't the turn the other cheek kind of, you know, she wasn't a deity at that point, but, you know, religious leader. I reflect on my victory. There are lessons to be learned from the regaled bear collar. Buff acquired. Bear collar. Oh! That's where the bears were coming from. Buff removed. Fear of man. Okay. Interesting. This is some cool flavor here. Bear collar. You call on bears of the forest to protect you. So I'm guessing, like, how the stench of death will summon these diseased skeever out of, like, randomly, that the bear collar will do the same thing with these bears. Interesting. A little bit buggy. It didn't work completely correctly, but it's still pretty cool. Alright, Lucian, why don't you take some of my stuff?
Donations are always appreciated. Oh, you want the stuff back? we can discuss that later.
Was bears helping you or a blessing? I was just goofing, but I was right about the bears. Yeah, kinda, huh? It would be Kinnereth in this case, not Kine, because of the 9 divines. See if he can do anything with that flame dart staff as well. But yeah. Makes some sense, I guess.
I'll be right behind
and
you.
having more allies in battle is only going to make the cleric much stronger. But if they come from the forest here, I feel like they're not going to spawn underground in the Undercity of Windhelm, where we probably need them the most. So it's... Oh, there's my boots. If there's anything else I want from him. So those bears that spawned were actually helping this guy, I think, but they're, I don't know, maybe a script didn't fire off for the factions. And they ended up killing all this guy's dudes. But, like, not hurting us. Yeah, weird. Alright, there are more enemies inside, but we were just passing through anyway, and we got what we needed to get from these folks anyway. But there is... Did I clear out that quest already? Yeah, I guess you gotta find the spot of the kill, see if there's anything else that I dropped. I don't think there is. I don't think I have it set up so that it drops anything else other than what I have equipped. But we'll check. Should be a torch with a pack over here somewhere. There it is. Get up there. Get up. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, empty. Okay, whatevs. Alright. Quick save it. Let's just call this a Todd special. Yeah, for as much as I've been playing with Shadow of Skyrim lately, there's still a lot of it that I haven't seen. I seem to be cycling through the same, 3 or 4 effects on all these different playthroughs. This is the first time I've seen that one. Pretty cool, though. I'm glad I decided to roll with it. I got a cool reward from it, that's for sure. Okay, still heading to Dawnstar here. That is not Dawnstar. Oh, I hear a spider. Yeah. Really, Miko? You're just not going to be bothered? Not going to be bothered by that at all? Okay. Dawnstar is close. Are you a fellow man of the cloth?
Maik wishes you well.
Oh. Cassian wishes you well. Miko has no fear of dinky little frostbite spider. Yeah, I guess his metabolism will just burn through the venom. No problem. Am I going the right way? Yeah, I am. Okay. More wolves. Probably ice wolves. And they're probably gonna have a murder boner for me. Yeah, that's a big one. That's an ice wolf for sure. Oh, 2 of them. You kidding me? Just run around in circles here. How about that? Oh! I'm being summoned by my own little ice wolf here. Were you a good girl? Come here. All right, my dog's gonna make an entrance here. There we go. Oh, come here. Come here. You gotta say hi to everybody. You have to say hi to everybody watching. Oh, where's my little geriatric princess? She was a good girl out there. She was dancing around. She was dancing around on the floor, saying, "Dad, I was a good girl and I deserve a treat." Yeah. Okay, I'll go get you one real soon. Okay. Good dog. Good dog, little Davy Bones. Her name is Davy Bones, like Davy Jones, but she eats bones. Oh, another one? All right, I'm gonna harvest these up, and then, oops. Nice dog. Reminds me of your own. What kind of dog do you have, Paras? She is a mix between a beagle and a dachshund. She's 14 years old, and sadly her kidneys are failing her a little bit, but we caught it early. We're treating it, and she's been living her best life ever since we changed up her diet. Hope she still has a couple years left. Geriatric Prince. Yeah, she's really old. Had a Chihuahua, a rat terrier, died once on December 5th. He was 16 years old. Yeah. They stick around just long enough for us to completely fall in love with them, and then, you know, they leave us, and it's always very sad, but I'm not going to participate in preemptive grief at this point. She's still pretty healthy. She's still pretty lively. Obviously, she was dancing around all over the place on the floor there, all proud of herself. But it is 6 o'clock. I have to eat something. I have to take care of the dog too. She's probably hungry for her dinner as well. I'm right outside of Dawnstar now. We'll probably do, next time we stream this guy, we'll do the Vermina quest line, and then once we're done with that, we'll head over to Fulganther for the Galder Amulet quest line. All in the interest of leveling up so that we can take on, what's his name here? Aradel. The Altmer named Aradel. And then, you know, progress farther in the Vigilant quest line. Great stream, by the way. Hey, no problem. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. That was a lot of fun. I agree. I don't know. Maybe I have a little more energy. A little less held back, I guess. Just not being caffeinated enough usually at my normal time. You would think 11 a.m. is plenty of time for me to like get up and move around and everything, but sometimes it's not. But yeah, maybe afternoon streams would be a better thing. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I felt like I was firing on all cylinders today. That was pretty good. A pretty good show. Yeah, no problem. Thanks everybody for. Actually, we got a pretty good crowd here. I wasn't thinking that you know, streaming at a different time than what I normally do would carry over so many viewers. But most of the you know, regulars are here to hang out. That's awesome. Thanks so much, guys. If you like this, do check out the links below. There are lots of other streamers, content creators that you know, they stream all the time. You don't have to wait a whole week to hang out with me on a Saturday. You'll probably see me in chats, you know, throughout the week if I'm not too busy with work. I also do have a Discord. I'm putting that in chat right now. If you want to chat throughout the week or whatever, talk about builds, talk about video games, it's a good place for it. Not that everybody needs another, you know, like a 12th or 13th Discord where they talk to all the same people all day anyway. But it's there. I had people asking me for it, and we have one now, so all good. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in a week. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye.